being heaped on Vladimir Putin to agree to a deal.
Recapping on your top stories, a man originally from Rwanda has been arrested in the U.S. Faustin Nsambo Mokonzi was allegedly involved in the 1994 Rwandan genocide. Now, for any news stories you'd like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us at +27 11 714 4459. Channel Africa News, I'm Onele Nzinzi.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Good morning and happy Friday. Good morning, Channel Africa family, wherever you are on the African continent, on the African diaspora, and all around the world. We welcome you to this beautiful family where we speak and unpack that African perspective. Thank you so much to our morning team, Peter Ndoro and Asanda Beda, for joining us this morning and, of course, hosting Africa Rise and Shine. That was a great one, starting off our latest in news on the continent and the world. But it's now 6 minutes past 9 Central Africa time. And of course, you know, it's time for On the Move with myself, Palesa and Benjamin Moshata. I'm with you for the next 3 hours, giving you news, views, and entertainment. Lots of entertainment because it's Friday after all, from the African perspective. Join us on www.channelafrica.co.za. Find us on your audio bouquets, DSTV channel 802 and OpenView 628. And of course, another great way to tune into Channel Africa is through the SABC Plus app. You can find Channel Africa there under the radio section. So yeah, there's lots to do, lots to talk about, and of course loads of fun to be had. We're speaking about South Africa's animation industry in the first hour of the show. You know, I think we really take for granted the role of animation in the entertainment. I mean, I for one used to love cartoons, but animation is a lot more than just the cartoons that you used to watch. I still watch cartoons to this day, actually, so don't tell anyone that. It's not a secret though. I still watch cartoons to this day. I think they're really fascinating and very, very entertaining. And South Africa boasts the largest and most successful animation sector on the African continent. It's known for its diverse range of styles and mediums, and the country has also earned international acclaim, attracting partnerships with global clients. We'll be speaking today about the state of animation in South Africa and the continent at large, its potential in addressing socio-economic challenges, and the importance of producing animated content in local free languages. We'll be chatting to the managing director of Black Native Media, an animation studio specializing in captivating animation tailored for diverse audiences. That's our first hour story. Moving on into the next hour of the show, we're taking a look at this amazing initiative taking place in the art world, a groundbreaking cultural initiative that brings together 20 emerging and established artists from South Africa and Tanzania to exchange their artworks and foster cross-border dialogue and market access. So they'll be running throughout Africa Month, which is the month of May. The inaugural International Print Portfolio Exchange exhibition will debut in Johannesburg before traveling to Dar es Salaam, offering artists unprecedented exposure to international audiences and collected. And we're speaking to Molefe Twala, who is the co-founder of TACS, that is the arts company Soweto, to talk to us about this landmark cultural collaboration. Moving on into our final hour, well, it is Friday after all, and we don't leave you without an artist profile. Today, we'll be taking a look at pop and R&B artist Mtwana. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, buddy. How you doing?
Doing good.
Hey, man, it is that time once again. It's that Friday. Stay in touch with us on our socials at Channel Africa 1 being that handle on TikTok. That is the handle on X and also the handle on our YouTube page. And don't forget Instagram in that light. Remember, also, you can find us on our Facebook page. It's titled Channel Africa. Don't forget that we are also on our website, www.channelafrica.co.za. Hey, let's get going. It's going to be a fun one. It is a Friday, after all.
Vue d'Afrique avec Joël Mouteba.
C'est-à-dire, quelles sont les motivations derrière la décision du général Mamadi Doumbouya d'accorder la grâce présidentielle à Moussa Dadis Camara?
Alors, officiellement ici, c'est pour des raisons de santé et puis le décret aussi a ajouté que c'est dans un élan de réconciliation nationale et c'est un cas social. Mais au-delà de ça, les analystes ils voient sous un angle politique. Les moins critiques estiment que c'est pour peut-être faciliter un petit peu la réconciliation que pourrait tenter aujourd'hui le CNSD.
Vue d'Afrique. Du lundi au vendredi de 15h à 16h, temps universel.
Zochitika ndi madapiri kamlondola wazochitika pena paliponse.
Aphungu a nyumba ya malamulo mu dziko la Malawi akuchita zokambirana zawo pa zinthu zosiyanasiyana pambuyo pa nyumbayi kutsegulidwa masiku apitawo ndipo kondani nyamasa ukali nafe pompano chiyambireni aphungu akukambirana masiku apitawo ndi zovuta ziti zomwe zachitika mu nyumba imeneyi ya malamulo.
Ndingathe kunena kuti state of national address imene a president Dr. Lazarus Chakwera akhala kuipereka mu nyumba ya malamulo imeneyi idautsa mpungwepungwe kwambiri nyumbayi chifukwa pofika panopa mene ndikuyankhula pano ndiye kuti munafuna kubuka ndewu mnyumbayi a leader of the house olemekezeka Richard Kimwendo Banda kuyimirira kuyankha koma mopsa mtima zimene amayankhula phungu oyimira ku Blantyre City South East Osama Suleiman kunena kuti sona imene adapereka president pa 14 February ikuonetsa kuti palibe chilichonse cha zero chimene chidaperekedwa mu sona imeneyi akuti imene ayichotse.
Zochitika ndi madapiri lolemba mpaka lachisanu pa nthawi ya 7 koloko kufikira 8 koloko madzulo pa Channel Africa.
Get set and be ready to go. On the move with Palesa and Benjamin Mushatama.
It's 11 minutes past 9 Central Africa time. Of course, you're tuned in to On the Move with myself, Palesa and Benjamin Mushatama. We're speaking all things entertainment. It is Friday after all. And of course, taking a look into the world of not just entertainment, but art and culture as well. And today we're looking at animation. And you know what? When I think about animation, I think about all of my favorite childhood cartoons. When I was almost a teenager, did you hear of a cartoon called Pepper Ann?
Yeah, I was a fan of Pepper Ann.
Were you?
Yeah.
I love Pepper Ann. I used to rush home to also watch Pokemon. So one of my favorites as well, and many others. In fact, I still enjoy cartoons to this day.
Which ones?
Okay, well, there's some that aren't really kids' cartoons. I still watch SpongeBob, actually.
Okay.
I still enjoy SpongeBob to this day. So
right.
I think it's one of those that just never goes out.
I know anime is a thing that people are getting into now.
Yeah.
So that's also an interesting space.
Absolutely. But I think animation has definitely grown quite a lot. And it's more than just those fun cartoons that we used to watch. In fact, South Africa boasts the largest and most successful animation sector on the African continent. It's known for its diverse range of styles and mediums, and the country has earned international acclaim, attracting partnerships with global clients. Now, from animated series to feature films, South Africa studios are delivering high-quality productions that reflect their unique cultural narratives while adhering to global standards. Today, we'll be unpacking the state of animation in South Africa and the continent at large, checking out its potential in addressing socio-economic challenges and the importance of producing animated content in local free language, and I think within the context of Africans as well. We're speaking to the managing director of Black Native Media, an animation studio specializing in captivating animation tailored for diverse audiences, from advertising to original content, music videos, and interactive experiences. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the line, Joel Matladi. How are you doing?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm doing well, thank you. Well, you know, it's so interesting to speak to someone in animation, because I think most of us have a very one-dimensional view of what animation is, as we were speaking about our favorite cartoons earlier. But there's so much growth and so much potential in the sector. Well, tell us about your interest and your growth within the animation sector.
So my interest and growth within the animation sector started at a very young age, but it led me into venturing into entrepreneurship because I felt like there was a need to tell diverse African stories and preserve the African aesthetic. Because animation is a very powerful storytelling tool. It's very diverse in its applications, and we just don't have enough of that locally. And it's one thing to actually complain about things that you see that aren't really happening, and something else you should just get up and do something about it yourself. And that's pretty much what we've been doing since 2019.
Well, it's not really a mainstream kind of career to go into, both here in South Africa and I think on the continent at large. Is animation really growing both in South Africa and the continent at the scale that it should be?
No, it's not. We've made a lot of significant strides within the industry. There's some amazing men and women doing some amazing work locally to push us where we need to get to. But it's not going the way it should be for a variety of reasons. I think one of them is just our approach and the way we think about animation as a whole, as people. And there isn't just one contributing factor as to why that is. It's just a multitude of factors that really contribute to one problem, but we are growing slowly. We could be growing a lot faster, and also I think the direction that we are growing in my opinion, is a bit of course. I think we need to have a little bit more focus on the local South African, creating content that tailors to our people.
And let's speak about tailoring content to the people, because there's a huge animation industry outside of the African continent. And usually when Africa is involved in an industry that is much bigger than our industry, what we learn and what we focus on is not really in the context of who we are. So tell us about the importance of that, growing the animation sector here, but also keeping it within our context.
So the thing about animation is that there's a lot of misinformation about it, but people actually understand what it is and how it works, right? Looking at like your general consumers, which then spills over to like decision makers, project funders, and so forth. So you now end up in a situation where you have situation where like you have literally people that are making decisions for an industry that they don't really fully understand, right? Sorry, could you just repeat the question again? Let's not train off for a second.
So I want us to take a look at creating an animation industry that also speaks to our context, the African context. So our languages, our culture, and who we are as part of the sector, and not just sort of copying what we're seeing from the West.
Yes. So yeah, to turn from a previous thought. So a lot of that has to do with a vision. You need to have a vision for us locally here and have enough will to see it through. And the thing about animation and being able to understand what it is, it also comes down to how we fund it, right? Animation is quite complex, difficult, and notoriously expensive to make. And evidently, it just comes down to decision makers, which is like the person wherever the funding comes from, they often control the vision and creative output and what actually the money focuses on. So basically, money talks. And unfortunately, we just don't have locally the vision and the will where we have enough funding pouring into those kinds of initiatives. You know what I mean? I'll give you an example. Like, I'm sure everybody at home can relate to, especially the parents, the ones who have kids. Before Peppa Pig and Coco Melon, you didn't really understand the importance of having programming like that.
Yeah.
Now they're here and like everybody's kid is going crazy over that. And the next question you ask yourself is, why don't we have this in local languages? You know what I mean? That seems like such a very straightforward thing, but unfortunately, because there isn't that kind of thinking and vision for us locally here, no one's gonna actually implement that. No one's gonna see the need and importance of that. So therefore, the money won't follow.
I mean, the last time we saw anything like that was when we were young. I think it also still there is the African versions of Sesame Street, which is Takalani Sesame, in all our native languages here in South Africa and also across the African continent. But it seems like we've lost the will to do that. I'm very interested. I mean, we keep saying that animation is more than just the cartoons. So we need to take a break right now, Joel. But I want us to come back and actually, you can unpack for us what the industry actually looks like. What is it that you guys are doing in those animation studios, and what are the possibilities looking right now in the present but also in the future? We're speaking to the managing director of Black Native Media, Joel Matladi, chatting to us about the state of animation on the continent and in South Africa in that context, and of course its potential from here to the future. It's 20 minutes past 9 Central Africa time.
This is for when you have to wake your neighbors up. Weekends, 3 to 6 in the morning.
On that beautiful piano tip. This is Angelic, hanging out with Demtuda. And the musical chef, Wamuhle. It basically means you are beautiful. You know what? It makes me think though, if I were a woman, I would be very appreciative, meeting guys that will tell you that you are beautiful. But I think the annoying part though, those ones. Baby, my size. That one should be very annoying. Yeah, no wonder I'm not a woman.
When you have to wake your neighbors up, play them the Morning Switch on the weekends with the Shy Guy, 3 to 6 in the morning, Central African Time.
Você é fluente em português? É apaixonado por rádio e quer trabalhar na África do Sul? Você tem documentos que o qualificam para trabalhar na África do Sul? Nesse caso, podemos ter uma oportunidade para você trabalhar no Canal África. Envie seu currículo e demonstração para Canal África at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Lembre-se, se você não receber alguma resposta nossa em 14 dias, isso significa que você não foi selecionado. Canal África, a perspectiva africana.
No time to waste. Be on the move with Benjamin Mushatama and Palesa.
21 minutes past 9 o'clock Central African Time. You are listening to On The Move, and we're chatting to Managing Director of Black Native Media. It's an animation studio specializing in animation that is tailored for diverse audiences, and it is wonderful to be actually hanging out with Joel Matladi on the line. You can actually check us out on our live stream as well on our Facebook page at Channel Africa, and remember we're also on Instagram on that page. Remember our handle is at Channel Africa 1 on Instagram. Use the same handle for our YouTube. Our YouTube page utilizes that handle at Channel Africa 1. Coming back to you, Joel, let's chat a little bit about Black media, or Black Native Media rather. What do you guys actually do? Tell us a little bit about the work, because the tasks feel very, very huge, especially in diversification of content, especially content that also targets the African audience.
Yeah, so essentially we create animation content. So animation is literally a storytelling tool, storytelling device, and our focus is just telling stories that relate to our audiences that service different types of requirements. You're looking at the corporate space, educational space, and entertainment space. It's literally that straightforward. As a storytelling device, again, it is quite diverse in its applications. So it's a matter of servicing different types of clientele for their requirements.
So tell us a little bit about that. What are the multiple considerations that you have to make in the content creation, especially for African audiences? As a practitioner yourselves, what is something that you think is critical in terms of drawing those audiences when you are targeting them?
I think it's quite important to understand what it is you are making. right? And to consider your target audience. You know what I mean? I think, for example, if you were to be creating content for the local market, you'd have to look at our cultural relevances, things that make us unique, essentially, which involves a lot of research because.
Hey, Joel, are you there? Okay, I think that I'm losing Joel. Joel, can you hear me? Okay, I think we've lost Joel there. It's an interesting one because I wanted to zoom into the intricacies of actually how you actually target those African audiences. We are also a diverse bunch, and tackling that endeavor is also very daunting because we have so many cultural inclinations. We've got so many traditional sensitivities, and we'll talk a little bit about that after our break as we get our guests back on the lines. 25 minutes past 9 o'clock Central African time. I think he's back on the line. Joel, can you hear me? Joel, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah. You were asking. You were actually telling me about getting hold of those particular target audiences. How easy is it? Is it difficult? I was thinking about just the cultural sensitivities that we have here on the African continent. The diversity of target audiences can be daunting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It isn't a very easy task because you don't really know inherently how people are going to receive whatever it is that you make. But if there's one thing that I've seen, especially with the local market, there's such a need and hunger for animation that people can relate to. And the easiest way to do that is to literally make content in our languages. You know what I mean? If you make the content, people will come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but how do you do that? I mean, it seems like there's a lot of research behind it, or do you just wing it?
There is no winging it in this industry. That would be amazing. It involves a lot of research, a lot of consulting, and execution as well is quite major, and I think right now, given where we are as a country, comedy plays a huge role into those things. And just being sensitive to the current climate that we are in. If you speak to people in their language, you speak to people in their experiences,
sure,
you make them feel something. They'll show up for you. They'll show up for your content.
Yeah. And in terms of you finding also the animators themselves, then is the environment, on the African continent having those expertise? Because a lot of criticism on the African continent is that we're not actually engineered in a way that we have expertise in light of technological sectors. What's your take on that?
So there's just a lot of misinformation about animation, and we've made a lot of significant strides over the past couple of years, just in terms of talent alone. Like we are some of the most talented individuals working in the country, and a lot of them work abroad, work overseas. One thing I think that might be pouring into that misconception is the fact that we don't see any local content within the local perspective. A lot of talent here actually works abroad because that's literally where the money is, that's literally where the infrastructure and the support is. Our industry is very small and very young, so there isn't a lot of opportunity for talent to actually get into projects where they can actually showcase what they're actually capable of doing.
Sure.
But the talent is there, the will is there, everything is there. We just need to actually build our industry to the point where we can sustain talent on that level, because our industry is quite small, and quite frankly, there isn't enough jobs, there isn't enough funding to allow talent to come in and create content on that scale, at that capacity. It's more a matter of opportunity more than anything.
Yeah. And that's very interesting. As we wrap it up, how do we also find ourselves on those macro platforms, especially distribution platforms? Because I love the fact that anime is growing, but that is a specific type of animation that, is located to a particular type of geographical Asian demographic, but also, it's also spreading in other parts of the world. Do you think we'll ever get to that point where we do have African animation that's on a macro scale?
We can get there. It goes back to my initial point where everything starts with a vision. There needs to be somebody out there that says there's a need for this, and we need to make it happen. And talk to the relevant people in those industries, and be practical and intentional about a lot of the industries that we're talking about. Within those countries, there's someone there who was in a position of leadership that said, listen, we need to begin creating specific types of content for people. And how do we make it happen? Someone that took charge and said, we need to do this, we need to make it happen. We need someone of a similar mindset. And this doesn't have to be one single individual, And to be honest with you, a lot of this has to start up top, that being governments, because again, certain level of support, certain type of support. And currently, there are a number of funding institutions that are trying their best to actually, assist with it, but it's simply not enough, And we appreciate the good work that they do, but we need more. We can't get there. It just requires someone with a really strong will, with a vision, to carry us for the next couple of years. It's gonna take a long time, simply because some of the industries that you're mentioning have been around for many decades. They've grown slowly over time. To the point where people now understand the significance and the importance in those environments and in those cultural contexts. We need something similar for ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've run out of time. Thank you for joining us, Joel. Where can people go to find out more about Black Native Media?
You can go look at our work on blacknative.za. Instagram is Black Native Studios. Also on TikTok under the same handle, Black Native Studios. That's pretty much it.
Awesome, man. This has been a cool conversation. Thank you for joining us on our Friday show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hi, that's Joel Matladi, Managing Director of Black Native Media, taking that conversation to 9:30 Central African Time. Let's get our sports.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
And a very good morning from the sports desk. I am Musibudi Makura with the latest sports news at the Sawa. We'll start with football news. So Al Ali forward Nejek Gradisa says he's counting on the energy from their influential supporters when they host Mamelodi Sundowns in the second leg of the CAF Champions League semi-finals. The Egyptian Giants have been granted permission to have a full capacity crowd at the Cairo International Stadium against their South African counterparts in a fixture that will decide who gets a title shot. So tickets were also sold out, just 2 hours of them being made available, guaranteeing a rip-roaring atmosphere that Gradisa will experience for the very first time since joining Al Ali in January from the Hungarian Football League. The forward believes the Ultras, as Ali's legion of supporters are known, will play a big part in just the approach for the game later on tonight.
The match was really hard. We had a lot of chances to score a goal, to get advantage for the next match, but we will do our best to win the match and go in the final. The supporters are very important. They support us everywhere. They even come to the South Africa. So we want you all to support us, and we will give our best to win the game.
Also, the lanky forward sounded quite anxious when he was asked about his expectations as well as emotions in front of a large crowd.
I wait this moment until I came here. It's going to be tough for me, but I will do my best. Believe in the fans to support us and try my best to help the team to win the game.
On to athletics news now. Uganda's half-marathon world record holder Jacob Kiplimo said he was well prepared as well as ready to do his best when he makes his full marathon debut at the London Marathon this coming Sunday. So twice world cross-country champion Kiplimo, who shattered the half-marathon record by 48 seconds in Barcelona in February, will feature in a stellar field that includes Ethiopia's Olympic champion Tamarat Tola as well as marathon great Eliud Kipchoge. So London Marathon director Hugh Basha has described Kiplimo's debut as the most fascinating ever. Kenya's defending men's champion Alexander Mutiso Muyao will be running in London for a second time and is also expecting an epic day in what he called also one of the strongest fields ever. Kipchoge, the former world record holder as well as 4 times London Marathon winner, is back in the capital for the first time since 2022, but the 40-year-old said this time around it's all about giving back. The 2016-2020 Olympic champion who suffered back pain and also failed to finish at last year's Paris Games said he was still hungry to inspire and motivate others. This year's London Marathon is expected to break the world record for the most participants, with more than 56,000 people set to compete. World Under-20 100 meter as well as 200 meter champion Bayanda Walaza has expressed his disappointment over the absence of his idol Agani Simbeni at the national championships. The 19-year-old who finished in second place in the final of the 100 meter at the Park MacArthur Stadium in Potchefstroom in the Northwest Province on Thursday said it was heartbreaking not to compete against the South African record holder as well as the multiple national champion. Simbeni opted to skip the event to focus on Saturday's Diamond League meeting in China, while Walaza had been looking forward to going head-to-head with one of his biggest inspirations.
We truly wanted to race against him, because even though we win, but it won't be the same as when he was here. You can be the SA champion, you're SA champion, but he's not there. We're not sure if you're faster than him. The goal is to pick the best, in the sports. That's how the sport works. You need to pick the best to be the best. So for him to be not here, also knows that everyone in here in South Africa wants to be the best. They know that they have to beat him. And he's not here. I'm heartbroken.
Now, Walaza faced off with Agani Simbeni in KwaZulu-Natal just last year at 18 years of age. He says the experience taught him a lot as he was eager to measure his progress against one of South Africa's best sprinters.
I think it was an emotional race for me as well, because being a junior competing against the seniors and everyone wants you to be challenging the best in the world as a young one. That made me see that in this world, there's no age, especially in the sports, Age is just a number, because people knew very well last year in singles that Agani is the best and I'm young. But people, they were like, you can do it, They gave me that motivation of no matter what age you are, you can still be competitive, And that's what built me, that's what made me strong, because I still want that race,
All right, so that's a wrap from the sports desk at this hour. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11714 4459. It's 9:36 a.m. Central African Time for Channel Africa Sport. I am Musibudi Makura.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African Perspective. Hi there. Do you want to elevate your business and give it a voice in South Africa and Africa as a whole? Well, in that case, let Channel Africa make this a possibility. Channel Africa is willing to advertise your business for as little as 30,000 rands or $1,719.18. To get access to these great rates, send all requests to mokoenata@SABC. That's MOKOENATA@SABC. Channel Africa, the African Perspective. No time to waste. Be on the move with Benjamin Mushatama and Palesa.
Thank you, Musibudi, for that sports update. Let's get our latest business update with Eva Chipa.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Thank you, Palesa. Ethiopia's inflation is expected to decline to 10% in the coming financial year, the country's central bank chief Mamu Miretu said yesterday, which is the lowest level in a decade thanks to government's reform program. The East African nation struck a 4-year, $3.4 billion program deal with the International Monetary Fund last July and is undertaking far-reaching reforms, which included the flotation of its currency and getting its debt restructuring back on track track. Inflation has been a major headache for Ethiopia, running at about 30% for 3 consecutive years, though in March it had already declined to 13%. The South African National Taxi Council, SANTACO, has defended government's decision to allocate over $21 million from the COVID-19 relief fund to the taxi industry. This after Build One South Africa, BOSA, questioned the once-off gratuity, which is allocated in the 2025-26 budget. Responding to BOSA leader Musima Imani's parliamentary question, Transport Minister Barbara Creasy said that Cabinet had approved an ex gratia payment to assist taxi operators that the COVID-19 restrictions had in 2021. However, not all the beneficiaries have been able to access the fund. SANTACO National spokesperson Matikidi Rebecca Pal.
The taxi industry is currently experiencing a big problem of operating license backlogs. So some operators at the time when the funds were initially announced did not have their operating licenses, and as a result of that, because it's one of the biggest prerequisites for one to be able to apply, they couldn't do that. So it's one of the reasons why it's only being distributed now. But I mean, they've also been hardest hit, just as with everybody else. So we're not too certain why it's being questioned in that way, because it's not like it's just being given to just about everyone. It's being given to deserving operators.
South Africa's power utility Eskom has attributed its decision to suspend rolling blackouts to the recovery of more than 2,000 megawatts of generation capacity and sufficient emergency reserves. It also says there is an expected decline in electricity demand. Eskom implemented Stage 2 rolling blackouts yesterday due to high demand and loss of generating units. The power utility spokesperson is Daphne Mugwen.
Load shedding was suspended at midnight. Planned maintenance continues to ensure system readiness for increased winter demand, to meet regulatory requirements, and to ensure environmental compliance. Our team remains committed to restoring approximately 6,000 megawatts to service by next Tuesday.
Oil prices edged higher this morning but are on track for weekly loss as potential OPEC Plus output increase and a possible ceasefire in the Russia-Ukraine war may rise supply. At the same time, conflicting U.S. tariffs signal limit in the demand outlook. Brent crude futures gained 5 cents to $66.60, on track to fall by 2% for the week. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude rose by 6 cents to $62.85 a barrel, but was set to decline by 2.9% for the week. Successful talks with Europe and the US would likely result in the lifting of sanctions on Iranian oil exports, as Iran is the third biggest oil producer in OPEC, behind Saudi Arabia and Iraq. However, the demand outlook remains cloudy amid the trade war between China and the US, the world's two largest oil consumers. And lastly, the United States has criticized as harmful and dangerous policies aimed at fading out fossil fuels. Addressing a London energy summit, U.S. energy official Tommy Joyce said Washington opposed policies which, in his words, endangered human lives. The BBC's Esme Stellard has more details.
The war in Ukraine, President Trump's tariff policy, extreme weather and cyber warfare. These are just some of the risks that the International Energy Agency has warned are looming over the global energy system. The watchdog is co-hosting this meeting in London, where ministers are hoping to agree a way forward. In his opening address, Britain's Energy Secretary Ed Miliband said key to this was cooperation. But it seems fractures are already appearing. Tommy Joyce, a top US energy official, told reporters that America opposed efforts by some countries to regulate fossil fuels out of existence and called it harmful.
$1 in Nigeria is trading at 1,000 naira 610. In Botswana, it's 13 pula 58. Kenya, the dollar is trading at 128 shilling 59. And in Zambia, it's 28 kwacha 26. To the BRICS countries, where $1 in Brazil is trading at 5 real 69. In Russia, 83 rubles 09. In India, 85 rupees 36. China, 7 yuan 29. And in South Africa, it's 18 rand 70 cents. $1 is trading at 75 pence to the British pound and 87 to the euro. Looking at commodities, gold is standing at $3,348, platinum at $968 per ounce, while Brent crude oil stands at $66.81 a barrel. For any business stories you'd like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2 711 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business News, I'm Eva Chipa.
Business News on Channel Africa. The African Perspective. The rhythm of Africa. The pulse of the continent. This is Channel Africa, the African Perspective.
Hey yo, I'm not even gonna lie. I used to call myself an ugly you, but I'm not even an ugly you. I'm a sexy you, you understand? Girl all over the globe wanna up me, you understand?
Girls in my crib, zero Snapchat, zero Instagram posting. Fuck up the vibe, my dick start falling like London Bridge. I don't care if I saw you in a magazine or if you're on TV. That one don't mean nothing to me. Don't need a shower, baby, I need a free lick like a scream. As if you mean to be disgusting. It's not enough. Jump my banana, one side I like that, no stopping up. Go shopping up, fuck that. If I do, breakfast don't fall. You daddy mujako.
As you know, the city boys are up and so are the city girls. It's 9:46 Central Africa time. You're still tuned in to On The Move right here on Channel Africa. Find us on www.channelafrica.co.za, on the SABC Plus app, and of course on our audio bouquets, DSTV channel 802 and OpenView 628. We're chatting about animation on the African continent. And I don't know, I actually haven't seen a lot of animation on mainstream media that is really catered for, blackness or catered for Africanness in general, right? I feel like we do a lot of, especially if we're speaking about cartoons, right? Let's talk about cartoons first of all, because I'm seeing more and more of the animation, like the music videos, and that's really obviously for the context of the music of that person in particular. Mm-hmm. But if we're speaking about cartoons, we do a lot of syndicate shows. We take shows that are, famous around the world and we give them to them. And just yesterday, we were speaking about early development, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the main things about early development is language and cultural context. And that's why we were speaking about the importance of maybe taking your child to, your local or your community early learning center or your creche or, daycare center, in order for them to not just learn things and not just to develop, but to also develop and learn from their own context as African children. But it's not what we're seeing when it comes to mainstream animation in our media, and children will sit in front of the TV and watch cartoons. But are they actually getting anything that is to their own context? I mean, from their own accents, their own languages, and their own cultural context. It's hard to sort of see whether these things or these, shows, and even the informative ones, even the educational ones, are made for our people.
It's a good question, because I think we as Africans must ask ourselves a lot about who we are. It seems like we are importers. And we are consumers.
Yeah.
And that's problematic for us as Africans, because if we don't create the content that we want our children to see, we need to initiate it. Like our guest was saying, we are used to importing these particular content platforms or content series, especially when it comes to animation, that are from a completely different context. And that's where things get very, very worrying, is that we don't think about who we are and how we can create our own industries in a macro way. So we have to start being entrepreneurial about these kind of things. I don't think it's just the animation industry. I think it's on many platforms where we need to consider who we are as Africans. Are we consuming who we are, or are we consuming who others are?
And the thing is, we have so many streams now where even if you don't have, the backup, even if nobody's trying to put your show on the mainstream media, even if you might not have, all the money, you can still find a way to put your things out there. There's YouTube, there's social media, so many free platforms where people have been able to actually grow. I mean, there's a South African animation called Noko Mashaba, and that's over the years, it's been around for I think over 5 dare I say maybe around 8 years now. And it started so small on YouTube, and it grew and grew, and now it's won a lot of awards and even made it into mainstream media. But this was just one local animator who didn't have all the backing, who didn't have the mainstream platforms, but decided to do the animation already and put it on the free platforms like YouTube, and it's grown from strength to strength, eventually grabbing the attention of mainstream media. And that's the thing, right? You just have to start. And if we want to see the context, the content that is for us, we have to create it and we have to put it out there in any way we can.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. What's your take on this one? Tell us, do you think we create enough animation? Do you think we have our own cartoons that maybe you have in your own country? Maybe we're from a different context here in South Africa. Maybe we just in our own prism, because sometimes we can be very isolated as Africans. Maybe in your own African country there is a cartoon that's doing very well. I know that in Africa our cartoonists and our animators are usually in the newspaper magazine format, so maybe we're restricting the animation context to the television platform. But tell us a little bit about animations in your country. Are they there? Are there cartoons in your country? You're like, no, it's actually happening. We are seeing this actually happen and thrive. I know we have that context from a newspaper perspective, but when you think about newspapers overall, it's a dying art, isn't it? So give us your thoughts on our WhatsApp number, +27 63 406 9126. Sando Jackson, I see you there on our live stream. You are speaking to us saying, Mashallah Tikuku Salitalani, all the way from Mpumalanga, Witbank. Thank you for joining us here in South Africa as well. Remember, if you want to be part of that live stream, it's going on right now on our different social media platforms. At Channel Africa 1 is the handle on our Instagram feed. You can just simply go to our Facebook page. Our Facebook page is titled Channel Africa. Hey, let's get going. It's 52 minutes past 9 o'clock Central African time. It is a Friday. Let's enjoy a bit of the music.
No time to waste. Be on the move with Benjamin Mushatama and Palesa.
It's so easy.
I know you thought that I would come and break
56 minutes past 9 o'clock Central African time. This is On the Move with myself, Benjamin Mushatama, and Palesa. It's 56 minutes past 9 o'clock Central African time. That's a beautiful one. It is Rutumi featuring Nasty C. It's titled Shade. 9:56 Central African time. You are right here on DSTV channel 802 OpenView 628. Hey, we're moving into multiple conversations today, and we've been speaking about collaborations, and I think exchanges are the best way that we can actually put together resources that might be limited here on the African continent, especially when it comes to our creative industries. It's a fantastic pathway actually to create initiatives that are long lasting, but also create a profile if you want to go beyond the borders of your own country. This is what's happening with a cultural initiative that is bringing together 20 emerging and established artists from South Africa and Tanzania. We did something very similar last week, Friday, with a continental experience here in Africa and something that was happening in Europe. And it seems to extend just also the collaborative in energy between artists, but also the creative pioneers. So we're going to be looking at something called the arts company Soweto and Cocoten Studios. They'll be having a collaborative work that is actually creating such a collaboration. Would you ever collaborate on anything outside Radio Pali? We collaborate every single day. This show wouldn't be this great without you. Of course, it wouldn't be this great without me. But, I mean, would you ever collaborate outside your own radio space, radio environment?
100%. I think, creativity thrives on collaboration. And if you want to grow within your creativity, you have to learn from other people. You have to learn from other spaces. And you also have to sort of learn different contexts. And that, I think, makes the creativity better. So that is 100%, an answer to that question. Yeah. I would absolutely collaborate outside of this particular space.
And what do you think the biggest barriers for collaboration are? I mean, for me, I just think it's the fact that we don't initiate them.
Yeah, I think, 100% not initiating them. But I think the biggest barrier is actually a mental barrier, thinking that collaboration takes away something from you when it actually builds you, because sometimes people see something else, that's similar to theirs but different, and see it as competition, where you could actually be seeing it as something that could offer dual growth.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to that collaborative theme in our second hour. We'll be finding out about that interesting collaboration that's happening between South Africa and Tanzania, and definitely we'll be speaking to Molefe Twala, a co-founder of the arts company Soweto, which will be aligning with the Tanzania's Cocoten Studios. Hey, have you ever collaborated? Has it been successful, or do you think no, these people held me back? Give us your thoughts on our WhatsApp numbers, +2763 406 9126. We're moving into that second hour that we're preempting right now. Let's find out, though, before we get into all these cool subject matters, what's happening in our news.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Looking at your top stories this hour, Rwandan man arrested in the U.S. and final preparations underway for Pope Francis' funeral. Latest news. Greetings to our listeners. A man originally from Rwanda has been arrested in the U.S. Faustin Nsabo Mukunzi was allegedly involved in the 1994 Rwandan genocide. He is accused of concealing his role in the violence and making false statements to enter the U.S. as a refugee, then applying for permanent residency and citizenship. If found guilty, he could face up to 30 years in prison. The World Food Programme says it will suspend vital aid to nearly 4 million vulnerable Ethiopians from May. The total includes about 650,000 malnutritioned women and children, the BBC's Kalki Dani Beltal.
More than 10 million Ethiopians are currently facing hunger or malnutrition, with humanitarian needs outpacing available resources. These include 3 million internally displaced people forced from their homes due to multiple conflicts across the country. WFP said the level of malnutrition had become alarmingly high. Ethiopia is also home to 800,000 refugees from its neighbors, including those fleeing the civil war in Sudan, something that has exacerbated the humanitarian needs. The UN's Food Agency has called for urgent new funding.
The Northwest Health Department in South Africa says it is embarking on a campaign to trace children who may have missed immunization. It says this is as part of the Africa Vaccination Week between the 24th and 30th of this month. The department spokesperson Tebohoile Khetwane says the aim of the campaign is to prevent serious diseases.
Health MEC Mr. Selolehari urges parents to pay close attention to the Road to Health cards, which details all the stages of immunization. It also indicates the diseases such as polio, measles, mumps, and others, which children must be immunized against.
More than 100 foreign delegations, including heads of state and royalty, are due to begin arriving in Rome ahead of the funeral of Pope Francis tomorrow. Tight security arrangements are in place in the Vatican, including troops with anti-drone devices and snipers on rooftops. There will also be a chance for the last of the huge crowds of mourners to file past the Pope's coffin. The United Nations has called on India and Pakistan to exercise maximum restraint. This as tension rises over the killing of 26 civilians in India's administered Kashmir region. India says 2 of the attackers were Pakistani, while Pakistan denies any connection to the attack. Following the attack, India closed its main border crossing with Pakistan, suspended a water-sharing treaty, and ordered the expulsion of some Pakistani diplomats. In retaliation, Pakistan cancelled visas issued to Indian nationals, closed its airspace for all Indian-owned or Indian-operated airlines, and suspended all trade with India. The BBC's Arunade Mukherjee.
The UN said that any issues must be resolved peacefully and called on both India and Pakistan to ensure the situation does not deteriorate further. New Delhi has blamed Islamabad, accusing it of not doing enough to stop cross-border terrorism. In a public address yesterday, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi vowed to pursue every terrorist and their backers to the ends of the earth. As part of the escalating series of tit-for-tat measures, New Delhi has suspended a critical water-sharing agreement. Islamabad said any attempt to divert or stop waters would be seen as an act of war.
Recapping on your top stories, a man originally from Rwanda has been arrested in the U.S. Faustin Zapukumukunzi was allegedly involved in the 1994 Rwandan genocide. Now, for any news stories you would like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us at +27 11 714 4459. Channel Africa News, I'm Onele Nzinzi.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
5 minutes past 10 o'clock Central African time. We're broadcasting from Johannesburg, South Africa. Very weird weather here in South Africa. Yesterday we were in our coats. Yesterday it felt like we were in the middle of London, the grey skies and really heavy clothing just so we can stay warm. And today it is sunny. The sky is out and it's looking beautiful where we're broadcasting from in Johannesburg, South Africa.
Johannesburg has been crazy. I think we
should be called the new Cape Town.
We certainly are the new Cape Town because Cape Town has been sunny. It's been doing well. No mixed weather, just nice. The sun is out, staying true to the season that we're in. Here, I'm not sure what season we're in Johannesburg.
Yeah, it's Winter
motor bring.
Yeah, winter
bring.
It just conflates all these different seasons in one, yeah?
Hey, man, it's crazy. It's crazy what's happening. You never even know what to wear. So, I mean, check us out on the live stream. You can see, actually, if you can compare what we wore on the live stream yesterday and look at what we're wearing on the live stream today.
It's like two different countries.
Yeah,
like
you'll tell exactly what it is.
We flew to another country overnight.
And we're broadcasting somewhere else. No, we're still broadcasting from Johannesburg, South Africa.
Okay, let's not bore you with the weather. Let's let you know what's happening in the second hour. Well, we're going to be looking at a collaborative effort that's taking place between Tanzania and South Africa. It's fantastic to see these collaborative efforts, especially in the creative industries. Sometimes there's so far that you can go alone. Sometimes there's just so much that you can do in your own country. Maybe you want to actually also create something different even with your creative ideas. Collaboration is the best way to go. Today we're looking at the collaboration between the arts company Soweto and Coco Tan Studios, and they are going to be making sure that the emerging artists from South Africa and Tanzania are exchanging artworks, fostering cross-border dialogue, and the most important one is that market access, because if you collaborate with people from different parts of your world, then people in the other world get to know who you are. So that's what's coming up just in a few minutes' time.
Yeah, do join us, our live stream, as we said, where you can see all our dramatic outfit changes every day due to the weather. At Channel Africa 1 is our Instagram handle, our X handle, our TikTok handle, our YouTube handle, and we are live streaming on some of those platforms like Instagram and YouTube. And on Facebook, we are simply Channel Africa, live streaming there as well. Thank you so much for joining us. We see you. So let us know where you're listening to us from. Send us questions, interact with us. We love to chat to you. And the great thing about the live stream is when you pose your questions there, or when you say anything, or when you send a shout out there, you can get an immediate response. You can actually hear us saying it on air or through the live stream and shouting you back. It's 8 minutes past 10 Central Africa time. We keep things moving. We're going to end up and wrap up with the music of the day. Today we're highlighting pop and R&B artist known as Mtwana, releasing a brand new single today. It's another On The Move exclusive, as we do for you right here on Channel Africa. So let's keep things moving and, of course, get into the second hour.
África. Conhece o Ntivani?
Claro que sou eu.
Ntivani é o amante da música de corpo e alma.
Eu amo música africana.
Ele aprecia todos os tipos de melodias e passa os seus dias a ouvir a Channel Africa. Okay. Adivinha só, a Channel Africa quer ajudar o Ntivani e os amantes da música em todo o lado a descobrir ainda mais música incrível. Por isso, a Channel Africa está a convocar artistas africanos a submeterem as suas músicas. Músicos, lembrem-se de nos dar todas as informações relevantes no music@channelafrica.co.za. As submissões são a vossa oportunidade de ser ouvidos, mas não garantem inclusão na lista. Todas as submissões serão cuidadosamente analisadas para verificar se cumprem os requisitos da nossa estação. Canal África, a perspectiva africana.
Zilipendwa na I am Henry Shekif.
Baiter, mambo vipi?
Poa.
Mwaka 2025 mpaka hivi sasa ukoje kwa upande wako mzee baba?
Nzuri kabisa, kwa sababu tumejiandaa vizuri. Kama mwaka jana tumefunga vizuri na Septemba, mwaka huu tumefungua vizuri na
hatari sana. Mzee umejipanga, utaki kutupumzisha?
Maana mwanzo alikuwa analalamika sana, you spend long time without releasing songs, blah blah blah. Now I need to
back to back. Platform, mambo vipi?
Mambo poa kabisa, wanasemaje uko SA?
Yani huku kuna shangwe, yani la kufa mtu, sikwambie mtu babu.
Hii ni mara yangu ya kwanza pia kusikika kwa pande hizo za South Africa.
Karibu sana, unajisikiaje?
Kwa hiyo nina furaha kubwa sana kwa sababu ni mara yangu ya kwanza, na I hope watu watakuwa wananisikiliza, watu wengi pia. Ili uweze kuvuka nje, watu waweze kukufahamu, tuseme West hivi na nchi tofauti tofauti. Ni lazima pia uanze kufanya vizuri hapa nyumbani, then uvuke East Africa, after East Africa.
Zilipendwa hapa kwenye Channel Africa, taswira ya Afrika.
Mix Vibration sur Channel Africa.
Nous allons accueillir sur ces plateaux de Mix Vibration un artiste pas comme les autres. Il est exceptionnel. Il se classe résolument dans la trajectoire des artistes qui défendent le patrimoine du folklore africain, mais aussi de la rumba. Ici, Jérémy Tchani.
En tout cas, je vous dis merci à la Channel Africa, à tout le monde qui nous suit. Dans la vie, si tu veux aller loin, il faut comprendre les temps. Il y a ceux-là qui étaient dans leur temps, mais à cause d'une mauvaise conduite, à cause des gens qui l'accompagnait, à cause de sa famille, à cause beaucoup de choses, son temps passé.
Voilà, donc il faut toujours gérer le temps. Chaque chose a son temps, dit-on. Et la couronne ne dure pas éternellement, dit-on. Donc il faut toujours gérer le temps que Dieu vous a donné sur la terre. C'est le message que Jérémy Tchani nous amène aujourd'hui sur Mix Vibration à Channel Africa.
Mix Vibration, tous les dimanches de 18h à 19h, temps universel.
On the move, weekdays, 9 a.m. to midday. Only on Channel Africa. #On the move.
I have a love for visual arts. It's one of my favorite things to do, to go to a gallery and see something that I've never seen before. But not all stuff that you see in a gallery is actually affordable for all of us. Sometimes it's niche markets that actually can afford to buy the art. That's why we need collaborative efforts to also stimulate emerging artists. And that's when you can start supporting an emerging artist when they're just about to come out of the woodwork and are starting to get exposed in a public platform. And that's why we need collaborations, because collaborations also enable for us as the viewer to get access to those visual artists. Well, a groundbreaking cultural initiative is bringing together 20 emerging and established artists from South Africa and Tanzania to exchange artworks, fostering cross-border dialogue and market access. Well, this is a project which is the brainchild of the arts company Soweto and Cocoten Studios. Each participating artist will contribute prints to a shared portfolio. They'll receive collaborative works in return. I think that's fantastic. A rare opportunity in the Southern African art scene. We're joined on the line now by Molefe Twala, a co-founder of the Arts Soweto Company Studio. And thank you so much, Molefe, for joining us here on Channel Africa.
Good day, Benjamin.
Yeah,
thank you.
I think it's so cool that you're doing such fantastic work. Let's come back to you working in the arts company Soweto. Give us a little bit about a backdrop around your company, what you do, because I think those companies that work from a local context are at times kind of marginalized. People kind of don't center them, but we need them because they're the ones that are actually a gateway for artists to actually start either their practice or to start working on their practice, but more importantly, to get that exposure.
Yes. Actually have it on the nail on the head. We founded the arts company on that premise. We actually recognized and saw that there is a challenge with access to good quality arts education in Soweto. My partner and I, we've been teaching in universities and other printmaking studios, so we have that experience, and we've been exposed to the world. We realized that where we come from, there isn't good quality or access to good quality education, especially in the arts, with Funda Center specifically being closed. So we thought we should answer that question. There's something wrong with people moving from where we come from to go to the city to find this access to these education and opportunities. So it was founded on that premise.
Yeah. That's very beautiful. I mean, I've got a print just to speak back to you on that has actually a Funda stamp on it. And the fact that it's closed is actually heartbreaking when I'm thinking of it. And, how do we actually keep that kind of support for people like you who work in your space? Because I think it's so important, I think my piece is going to have a lot of historical weight over time. But we don't want centers to come and go, especially those that do great work in visual art. What do you think we need to do to harvest that importance of those localized community centers?
One of the best ways to support us is actually to partner work. I'll be totally honest with you. So the importance of printmaking, for example, in our historical context, is that it actually helped to turn around our struggle during apartheid. It was one of those mediums that was able, artists and people could use to distribute information much quicker. There's a beautiful history of protest art, South African protest art, and it informed part of the June 16 movement. And the Mendu ensemble actually came out of that when they realized that the power of the arts could change actually the whole regime and speak for the people. So printmaking has become one of the most accessible ways to actually start collecting art, because it's much more affordable than your traditional mediums like paintings and drawings and sculptures. So you could start actually buying, because you can literally buy a print for as little as 1,000 rands.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not necessarily overpriced like other mediums. So by buying and going to the exhibitions, talking to the artists, engaging them, pulling them in through your events and some of the things that society is doing at large, supports the artists. So it ensures that then people have access to the work, and artists have a means of generating an income.
That's fantastic. Let's come back to this collaboration and what it actually means. How did it come about? How did you meet this Tanzania studio? Tell us a little bit about the formation of the idea.
The founder of Coco 10 Studio in Tanzania was a former student of mine. So we met again last year at the Johannesburg Art Fair, as we were both exhibiting and we had stalls there. So when we met, we exchanged details, and he came. We met at the studio. We spoke about this project. This because it's one of our biggest ambitions that we have, that we want to actually take printmaking into the continent. It primarily exists in South Africa and throughout Europe and the Western world, the Western world. So we thought there's something that we need to talk to with regards to that. So also the problem and the challenge is that artists can't afford their own works. So we would like to support other artists, but sometimes money is a challenge in terms of buying the work. So one of the most beautiful way and the quickest way to actually start collecting work as well is to exchange work with other artists. So when we spoke about it, and it just made sense, and we've been speaking since from October, and it's finally coming into fruition in May.
Sounds fantastic. There's so many opportunities in this, especially when it comes to that trade exchange of ideas, not only just ideas, but also of experiences, but also of different experiences that you actually can tap into from the collaborative effort itself, but also hearing the stories of the other artists in a different context from a different country. We'll speak a little bit about this collaboration as we keep going. Stay there on the line, but I see you there on our Facebook page. Hello. Can you see me there on that page?
I can't see you properly.
Okay, cool. Yeah, but you are very, very clear on our live stream there. And I just want to encourage you, if you're listening to us on other platforms, go check us out on our Facebook page, our Instagram handle as well. Our Instagram handle is at Channel Africa 1, and you can find our Facebook page, which is simply Channel Africa. It is our Creative Friday. This is when we take off our brains and we hold on to our hearts and embrace the creative, imaginative industries here on the African continent. Let's take a bit of a breather. We'll be back. It's 20 minutes past 10 o'clock Central African time.
Get ready to plug into knowledge with Channel Africa Conversations.
South Africa is stepping boldly into a new era of industrial innovation.
This week on Channel Africa Conversations, Peter talks energy, from renewables to policy shifting, innovations to inventions, and how it all connects to Africa's future.
Surely we can use batteries and battery minerals to transform Africa from an extractive economy to a manufacturing economy.
Do you want to stay ahead of the energy curve? Then don't miss our brand new podcast episode, dropping on Thursday, 24th of April on SABC Plus and on YouTube. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Download the SABC app and take Channel Africa with you everywhere you go. Keeping you on the know and on the move.
The month of May is Africa Month, and one thing about the continent is that sometimes from various parts of the continent, we love to highlight our differences, speak about them, and also celebrate our uniqueness from country to country. But we hardly ever take those differences and individual, properties that we have and collaborate them into a beautiful space. And of course, in, essence of Africa Month this May, and celebration of shared heritage and creative unity, the arts company Soweto Studios as well as Coco 10 Studios have announced their inaugural International Print Portfolio Exchange exhibition. This is a cultural initiative bringing together 20 emerged and established artists from South Africa and Tanzania to exchange artworks, fostering cross-border dialogue and market access. We're still speaking to the co-founder of the arts company Soweto Studio, that is Molefe Twala, still joining us on the line. Molefe, are you still there?
I am still here.
Perfect. Well, let's speak about those differences and the uniqueness, right? Because you say, the founder of Coco 10 Studios was once a student of yours, and you met in a space once again where you have common interest. What are some of the common interests that you guys have been able to see and shared values between South African artists and Tanzanian artists that's going to really make this collaboration stand out?
The biggest thing that we share, a common thing that we share, we are both founders, of printmaking studios. Mm-hmm. That is quite rare. There isn't a lot of Black or African founders of printmaking studios. In fact, some of our audiences internationally are amazed that we even exist. They don't think that printmaking exists in Africa.
Yeah.
So we're both founders and teachers, at the core. So we are very passionate about assisting emerging and established artists to actually pursue their dreams and self-actualize. The other thing is actually talking on issues, at hand, and some of the challenges and struggles that we deal with. Hence, this project where it's actually themed Bantwana Boom too. So it's about siblings, so because we are both South Africa and Tanzania are siblings. We share Mother Africa.
Yeah.
And at the same time, there's when you bring it back to your family and the siblings that you share, you see, yes, you might share parents, but then there are always challenges and struggles, and in terms of relations and whatever. And we can't actually write each other off. So we need each other. So we thought that would be a perfect theme to actually start off, where we look at the continent and then we bring it back to home, where you look at the relationship that you have as an artist with your siblings. So that just answers some of the challenges, and speaks to some of the challenges that we both face and we currently trying to conquer.
Now let's speak about these particular 20 artists. Some are emerging, some are established. But what does it take to bring together these artists that are taking place in this cultural exchange?
The arts company works with a range of artists, so we have them. We have access to artists, and we foster these relationships and maintain them on the daily. So all the artists that actually featured from the South African end have worked with the artists, the arts company Soweto, and so we thought this would be a perfect platform for them because most of them haven't had any international exposure. They've exhibited in the country, and they are currently doing well in their respective fields and careers. Excuse me. So when it was not that difficult actually to find them because we're in touch with them daily. And when we invited them, they jumped onto the opportunity.
That's incredible. And those from Coco Tens?
Same with Coco 10. Kadi Ramadani, who's the studio of Tanzania, Coco 10, he is in touch with those artists. So it was easy for him to just put together those artists and then work with them from that side.
Now, this is an inaugural event, and I'm pretty sure, it's going to really bring attention into, cross country collaborations when it comes to visual arts here on the African continent. Are there spaces and opportunities outside of this, or maybe after this, to expand it to the larger continent?
Yes, that is the goal. Already, there's a talk to a studio in the DRC that is interested in collaborating next year. So we would love to definitely open this up to the continent next year and get more countries involved and getting artists to exchange works. The beauty is that then you get artworks from Tanzania being exhibited in South Africa and South African artists being exhibited in Tanzania. So that just exposes different market to a different work, and the artist names are exposed to a different market, which is fantastic.
Yeah, sounds wonderful. I mean, is there anything that's going to happen beyond just the swapping of art and just that distribution element? How are you going to get that interaction between the artists?
Yes, we are currently in talks. One of our biggest wishes is to actually take the artists to Tanzania because the openings are happening 1 week apart. Ours is on the 3rd of May, which is next week, and theirs is on the 10th of May. So one of the things that we'd really like to do is to take these artists to Tanzania so that they could be part of the opening day. However, we are aware that Gadi is coming from Tanzania to our opening, and we're going to have a panel discussion as an opening. So he will be talking about some of the challenges and some of the issues that are reflected in the work, representing their artists, and also we will also be discussing a range of other topics that actually came up from this theme.
Well, Molefe, that's fantastic. Give us a rundown of the events that will be taking place both here in South Africa as well as in Tanzania. How can the audiences be a part of this experience?
Okay, our show is opening on the 3rd of May at Transverke. It's 2 Sam Hancock Street, Transverke building at Constitution Hill in Braamfontein. Admission is free, so it's happening on Saturday, the 3rd of May. It's going to open at 11 a.m. And then it will run until 16 p.m. And then there'll be a different range of activities happening there. There'll be definitely a walkabout, so you have an opportunity to meet the artist and talk to them and engage them about the work that they've created. And it's actually, because most of these are emerging artists, it's also an opportunity to collect the portfolio. Only 3 portfolios actually exist. The rest are going to go to the artists, and we've created additional works that can be collected as a whole portfolio, or you can buy one print at a time. So artists and the general public is actually encouraged to come through and engage the artists on some of these topics.
Are there any social media platforms where we can follow closely the works of your studios and Coco 10 Studios?
Most definitely. We are found on all social media platforms where it's the Arts Company Soweto on Instagram, Facebook, and on X. We are also available. It's also available online on our website, the Arts Company. So people can just check out those, and then they'll find additional information, and they can make contact with us. And so everyone is actually invited. They can come and celebrate this day with us.
Well, we look forward to it. Thank you so much for your time, Molefe. This is an incredible collaboration, and we're looking forward to seeing what else it births in the future.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. And everybody's welcome.
That's the co-founder of the arts company Soweto, Molefe Twala, speaking about a beautiful shared heritage collaboration between the arts company Soweto and Coco 10 Studios, announcing their inaugural international print portfolio exchange exhibition. It's 10:30 Central Africa time. Let's get our latest sports news with Musibudi Makura.
Sports
on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Thank you, Palesa. Good morning once again from the Sports Desk. We'll start with the stories of former Mamelodi Sundowns as well as Orlando Pirates head coach Rolando Mokoena has left his Moroccan club Wydad Casablanca after a run of disappointing results for the former African champions. It ends a 9-month adventure in North Africa for the 38-year-old coach who was fired by Mamelodi Sundowns at the end of last season, despite leading them to the Betway Premiership as well as taking the club to the Nedbank Cup final and semi-final of the African Champions League. Mokwena's departure from Wydad has not been announced officially by the club, but was confirmed earlier today by Morocco's sports newspaper Al Mutakab. Now, Mokwena had a contract until 2027, but earlier in the month announced that he would be leaving at the end of the season. His departure was hastened after a run of successive draws in the Botala Pro League that left Wydad Casablanca 6 points adrift of second-placed Royal Armed Forces in the race for the Champions League places next season. They were also bundled out of the Throne Cup in the last 16 by Mongreb Ted Tutan. Mokwena's departure also means he is set to miss the Club FIFA World Cup, where the Moroccan outfit is set to take part in, where he did say that he was looking forward to face off with his idol Pep Guardiola of Manchester City. Onto this now, our Ali forward Nejeg Gradisa says he's counting on the energy from their influential supporters when they host Mamelodi Sundowns in the second leg of the CAF Champions League semi-finals. The Egyptian Giants have been granted permission to have a full capacity crowd at the Cairo International Stadium against their South African opponents in a fixture that could decide, or that will decide actually, who gets a title shot. Tickets are sold out and were sold out after 2 hours of them being available, guaranteeing a rip-roaring atmosphere that Great Assar will experience for the very first time since joining Al Ali in January from the Hungarian Football League. The forward believes the Ultras, as Al Ali's legion of supporters are known, will play a big part in how they approach the game tonight.
We had a lot of chances to score a goal, to get advantage for the next match, but we will do our best to win the match and go in the final. The supporters are very important. They support us everywhere. They even come to the South Africa. So we want you all to support us, and we will give our best to win the game.
Now, the lanky forward also sounded anxious when he was asked about his expectations as well as emotions in front of a large crowd.
This moment until I came here is going to be tough for me, but I will do my best. Believe in the fans to support us and try my best to help the team to win the game.
On to athletics news now. Uganda's half-marathon world record holder Jacob Kiplimo says he is well prepared and ready to do his best when he makes his full marathon debut in London this coming Sunday. So twice World Cross Championship, Kiplimo, who shattered the half-marathon record by 48 seconds in Barcelona, Spain in February, will feature in a stellar field that includes Ethiopia's Olympic champion Timarat Tola, as well as marathon great Eliud Kipchoge. Now, London Marathon director Hugh Brashaw also described Kiplimo's debut as the most fascinating ever. Kenya's defending men's champion Alexander Mutiso Muyao will also be running in London for a second time, and expected also an epic day, and also called it one of the strongest fields of the London Marathon. Kipchoge, the former world record holder, as well as 4 times London winner, is back in the capital for the first time since 2020. But the 40-year-old said this time around, it's all about giving back. The 2016-2020 Olympic champion, who suffered back pains and also failed to finish the Olympic marathon just last year in Paris, said he was still hungry to inspire and motivate others. Now, this year's London Marathon is expected to break the world record for the most participants, with more than 56,000 individuals set to participate. And finally, in case you missed it, Carlos Alcaraz has pulled out of his home tournament at the Madrid Open due to a right leg injury. Alcaraz told the press on Thursday in Madrid that he had been forced to withdraw as he revealed that he had been struggling with a left hamstring issue. The Spaniard required treatment on his right groin during his Barcelona Open final defeat to Holger Rune just last week and subsequently underwent an MRI test. Now, those tests have since revealed a problem with his right leg abductor, which has forced the four-time Grand Slam champion to withdraw from the ATP 1000 Masters event. Alcaraz won the Monte Carlo Masters earlier this month before continuing his winning streak at the Barcelona Open to reach the final against Rune, but the 21-year-old experienced discomfort during the 7-6, 6-2 defeat and has decided against attempting now to win a third Madrid title following victories on the clay in 2022 and 2023. That concludes your sports news this hour. I'm back with the final sports update in the next hour. For Channel Africa Sport, I am Musibu D. Makura.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Parlez-vous couramment le français? Êtes-vous passionné par la radio? Et êtes-vous qualifié pour travailler en Afrique du Sud? Envoyez-nous votre CV et vos 3 minutes démo en MP3 à @channelafrica.co.za pour avoir une chance de rejoindre la famille Channel Africa. Si vous n'avez pas de réponse après 14 jours, cela signifie que vous n'avez pas été retenu. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
No time to waste. Be on the move with Benjamin Mushatama and Palesa.
Thank you so much, Musibu. We keep things moving with Eva Chipa, who has our latest business news.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Thanks, Palesa. Tanzania has officially imposed a trade ban on food and agricultural products from Malawi, intensifying a diplomatic and economic standoff that began with trade restrictions on Tanzanian produce. A similar ban has also been imposed on any agricultural produce coming from South Africa into the Tanzanian market. Tanzania has demanded that both countries rescind bans on imports of agricultural goods from Tanzania by Wednesday. However, Tanzania's Agriculture Minister Hussein Bashe says the countries had not done so. George Mango reports.
Malawi, a landlocked country, depends on Tanzanian and Mozambican ports for exports and imports. Tanzania has come up with a complete ban on both the export and import of agricultural commodities between Tanzania and the two countries. Tanzania's Minister of Agriculture Hussein Bashe disclosed this on Wednesday after expiry of a deadline issued by Tanzania last week in which Dodoma demanded that Malawi and South Africa lift their trade restrictions. He also criticized Malawi's handling of maize imports, noting the inconsistency in barring Tanzanian maize while simultaneously procuring the same grain through the World Food Programme, WFP.
South African Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana says he will not resign after the government's U-turn on a planned value-added tax hike, despite opposition calls for him to quit. Speaking to Reuters on the sidelines of the International Monetary Fund and World Bank spring meetings in Washington, Godongwana said his job is to introduce money bills, not that they must be popular. The finance minister was forced to scrap a rise in the value-added tax that threatened the stability of the ruling coalition government yesterday. The about turn blows a $4 billion hole in the medium-term budget and leaves Godongwana with the task of drawing up what he said was a different fiscal framework in line with the new realities of revenue and spending. South Africa's power utility Eskom has attributed its decision to suspend rolling blackouts to the recovery of more than 2,000 megawatts of generation capacity and sufficient emergency reserves. It also says there is an expected decline in electricity demand. Eskom implemented Stage 2 rolling blackouts yesterday due to high demand and loss of generating units. The power utility spokesperson Daphne Mogwen.
Load shedding was suspended at midnight.
Planned maintenance continues to ensure system readiness for increased winter demand, to meet regulatory requirements, and to ensure environmental compliance. Our team remains committed to restoring approximately 6,000 megawatts to service by next Tuesday.
Ethiopia's inflation is expected to decline to 10% in the coming financial year, which the country's central bank chief Mamu Miretu said yesterday, which is the lowest level in a decade thanks to government's reforming program. The East African nation struck a 4-year $3.4 billion program deal with the International Monetary Fund last year and is undertaking far-reaching reforms, which include the flotation of its currency and getting its debt restructuring back on track. Inflation has been a major headache for Ethiopia, running at about 30% for 3 consecutive years, though in March it had already declined to 13%. And lastly, Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Shiba says the government has compiled an emergency economic package to alleviate any impact on industries and households from the United States' new import tariffs. The package includes support for corporate financing as well as subsidies to lower gasoline prices. To help small and mid-sized companies, a larger scope of firms will be eligible for low-interest loans extended by government-backed banks. Government is set to consider additional measures to boost domestic consumption, depending on the impact of U.S. tariffs on Japan's massive automotive industry. $1 in Nigeria is trading at 1,000 naira 610. In Botswana, it's 13 pula 58. Kenya, the dollar is trading at 128 shilling 59, and in Zambia, it's 28 kwacha 26. To the BRICS countries, $1 in Brazil is trading at 5 real 69. In Russia, 83 rubles 9. In India, 85 rupees 36. China, 7 yuan 29. And in South Africa, it's 18 rand 79 cents. $1 is trading at 75 pence to the British pound and 87 to the euro. Looking at commodities, gold is trading at $3,297, platinum at $956 per ounce, while Brent crude oil stands at $66.59 a barrel. For any business stories you'd like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2 711 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business News, I'm Eva Chipa.
Business News on Channel Africa. The African Perspective. Start your day right with Channel Africa Breakfast.
That smells delicious.
Live, 5 days a week.
When a good girl gone bad, what you gonna do? Run, go meet a dad. You don't wanna do. Well, this is Southeast Hall, but the ranking what best, yo. Watch this. Love confession. Why she's a heartbreaker. She bend over backbreaker. Steaming hot water vapor. I wanna date her. She's a heartbreaker. She bend over backbreaker. Steaming hot water vapor. Boy, I wanna date her. So tell me why you do me so. So tell me why you do me so. Baby, me never let you go. Girl, me never let you go. So tell me why you do me so. Tell me why you do me so. Charlie, me never let you go. Tell me never let you go. body shaking like a tambourine all night. Inna me head you are the melody, baby. Inna me head you are the melody in my life. I never seen melanin so dark. You're the queen of the dance floor night. Such a light one Nairobi scene, baby. Won't you put me in your diary? Heartbreaker.
Oh, that's a beautiful one. Sauti Soul featuring Pato Ranking.
Love this
Melanin.
one. Still my favorite.
Yeah, Ben. Hey, go Ben. We're enjoying the music, of course, the vibe of Friday here on Channel Africa this morning. And guess what time it is? It's week 3 of our music quiz, and that's what we're about to do. Last week we had an Afro pop theme for the quiz, and Ben won last week's quiz to our surprise, and I won the first quiz, which was jazz.
Yeah.
And this week's genre that we're looking at for this week's theme is Afro House.
So whoever wins this quiz today has won for the month.
Oh yes, yeah, it has one for the month of April. Okay, that means that stakes are high today. Stakes are very high. So we're going to start with Benjamin today. Our theme is African Afro House. So
it's a tough one. I don't know much about Afro House. Do you?
I don't know.
I think I'm going to learn more than I actually am going to.
I fully agree.
Right.
I fully agree. I don't know much about
curve.
Afro House as well. So both of us starting on a pretty clueless slate. But let's see what's going to happen. Are you ready, Ben?
I'm ready.
Cool. Let's go.
You start.
Okay, I'll go first.
Me.
Okay, I'll go first.
Sure.
All right. First question: Which country is widely considered the birthplace of Afro House music? A, is it Nigeria, Angola, South Africa, or Ghana?
I'll go with South Africa.
South Africa?
Yeah.
That is wrong.
What is it?
The correct answer is Angola.
I wouldn't have known. Not at all.
Okay, question 2. What is the main musical genre that influenced Afro House in Angola? Is it A, Kizomba, B, Kuduro, C, High Life, and D, Boom?
Can't be Gom because that's a new kind of thing before Afro House.
And remember, in Angola.
What are the first 3?
Kizomba, Kuduro, High Life, or Gom?
Kuduro.
That is correct.
Because I know where the others come from. And I'm like, I've never heard this one.
So a matter of elimination there.
Yeah, it's a matter of elimination.
Okay, 1 out of 2 so far.
Okay.
Third question. Which South African DJ is known for popularizing Afro House internationally? Is it DJ Maphorisa? Is it Black Coffee? Is it Prince KB or Heavy K?
It has to be Black Coffee. That's an easy one.
Okay, 2 out of 3 so far.
Okay.
4. What distinguishes Afro House from traditional house music? Is it A, the fast tempo, B, the use of African rhythms and percussions, C, no lyrics, and D, minimal bass lines?
What's B?
The use of African rhythms and percussion.
Yes.
Okay, is that correct?
That one was easy. That one was easy.
Okay, that is right. Okay. Wow, so you're doing quite well. 3 from 4 questions so far. Question 5. Which of these is a common characteristics of Afro House tracks? A, auto-tune vocals. B, 808 drum patterns. C, tribal drums and spiritual vocals. And D, dubstep drops.
Has to be C.
Tribal drums and spiritual vocals?
Yeah.
Wow, Benji.
Got it.
5 out of 5.
You have a lot of
work to do. Oh my word. I am so nervous. I'm so nervous.
Sorry for you.
Oh my God. I hope I also got good questions. Okay, Ben, you got 4 out of 5.
I have to say, buddy, these are tough.
Oh no.
Super tough.
Okay, I guess I'll have to just guess. That's fine.
Okay. Who is the Angolan artist?
What? Okay. Already. I don't know any Afro House Angolan artists.
Okay, who's the Angolan artist behind the hit Afro House track Windek.
Okay.
Is it Titika? Is it DJ Malvado? Is it Capo Snoop? Or is it DJ Satellite?
No, can I have the options again?
Okay, A, is it Titika?
Mm-hmm.
B, is it DJ Malvado? C, Capo Snoop? Or D, DJ Satellite?
I'm going to go with Capo Snoop.
Yeah.
Is it?
That right.
Okay, because I know the song Windek. Windek. But I didn't know the artist.
Okay. That's good. Which label is known for pushing Afro house and deep house sounds in Africa and abroad? Which label is known for pushing Afro house and deep house sounds in Africa and abroad? A, Solistic Music. B, Maven Records. C, Kalawa Jazzmere. D, YBNL Nation.
I'm going to go with A, Solistic Music.
Yes, you got it
Is
right.
It right?
You know them.
No, I'm guessing.
Your guesses are good.
Because I thought, okay, it's soul sounds. I mean, Afro house is also quite soul.
Okay.
So I don't know. That was just a good guess.
All right. Afro house is often used with which South African style to form a hybrid genre? Is it Amapiano? Is it Gom? Is it Kwaito? Or is it Maskandi? Okay, one more time.
Yeah.
A, is it Amapiano? B, is it Gom? C, is it Kwaito? D, is it Maskandi?
I'm going to go with Amapiano. Yay! Okay. Wow. We're doing better than we expected at this quiz.
Dude, you're getting them all right.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Which of the following artists is known for blending Afro house with spiritual and ethereal sounds?
Okay.
Which of the following artists is known for blending Afro house with spiritual and ethereal sounds? A, is it Sun L Musician? B, is it Shoma Josie? C, is it Mr. Easy? Or D, is it Niniola?
Sun L Musician.
Of course, none of those are Afro house musicians. Okay, you won.
No, that's just 4 questions.
Oh, is it 4?
I have one more question to go.
Okay.
So we're tied so far.
Okay, we tie so far. Okay, I thought you already won.
No.
Okay, what is a typical BPM, beats per minute range for Afro house music?
Okay.
A, is it 60 to 80? B, is it 85 to 95 BPM? C, is it 115 to 125 BPM? D, is it 140 to 150 BPM?
Oh my gosh. Now that I had no idea what the others, but I really have no idea here.
Okay, just guess.
So I'm just going to choose C.
Which is right.
Is it?
So you won this time.
Okay. You guys, go to our streaming platforms and see my happy dance. Oh my gosh, I can't
I'm
believe
looking
I
at
won.
it now.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, you've won this month's challenge, with 1 point.
Okay, so for the month of April, I take our music quiz for the month.
Yeah,
Wow.
with great guesses.
With really great guesses, and all 5 of those were straight up guesses.
Yeah.
That is amazing, though.
Good
We
one.
did much better than we thought at the Afro House theme.
Yeah.
And so far, we've actually been doing a lot better than we thought we would.
Yeah, in some of the quizzes.
In some of the quizzes,
Yeah.
3 quizzes so far. So let us know which genre would you like to see us do or take part in the quiz next week at Channel Africa 1. Let us know on all our platforms or comment on our live streams on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Well, on that happy note, let's get more music. This is Nomfundo Mo with Isbusiso.
Baba mawusisa mina namhlanje ngiyacela ngomusa nentobeko cela ungakhohlwa mngani wami cela ungalibali umakhelwane wami kwakhona ukuvuka kwami namhlanje ayingoba ngingcono cela ukhumbule umndeni wami cela ukhumbule abazali bami
A beautiful one by Nomfundo Mo, wrapping up the second hour of the show. Isbusiso is the name of that one, and we're about to get into the final hour of the show. More music on that other side, so stay with us right here on Channel Africa. For now, let's get back on Elenzinzi for our latest news.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Thank you, Palesa. Looking at your top stories, Senegal's top court rejects a move to revise an amnesty law, and final preparations underway for Pope Francis' funeral. Your latest news, greetings to our listeners. Senegal's top court has rejected a move by lawmakers to revise an amnesty law that would have paved the way for possible prosecutions over the deaths of dozens of protesters during anti-government demonstrations between 2021 and 2024. The West African country's parliament had approved revisions earlier this month to the law, which was passed in March 2024 under former President Macky Sall, to pardon offences committed by both security forces and protesters. Riots broke out across Senegal in the run-up to elections on the 24th of March last year, fueled by concerns that Sall was muzzling his opponents and seeking to stay in power beyond the end of his mandate. According to Amnesty International, at least 65 people were killed, mostly by bullets. Congo and Rwanda plan to sign an agreement in Washington today to promote peace and economic development. This is part of a diplomatic push to end violence after an advance by the M23 rebels in the eastern DRC. The agreement is expected to be signed by the two countries' foreign ministers at a ceremony with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. That comes as Washington is in talks to invest billions of dollars in mineral-rich Congo. Rwanda said this week that it was also speaking to Washington about a possible mineral deal. The World Food Programme says it will suspend vital aid to nearly 4 million vulnerable Ethiopians from May. The total includes about 650,000 malnutritioned women and children, the BBC's Kalkidal Yibeltal.
More than 10 million Ethiopians are currently facing hunger or malnutrition, with humanitarian needs outpacing available resources. These include 3 million internally displaced people forced from their homes due to multiple conflicts across the country. WFP said the level of malnutrition had become alarmingly high. Ethiopia is also home to 800,000 refugees from its neighbors, including those fleeing the civil war in Sudan, something that has exacerbated the humanitarian needs. The UN's food agency has called for urgent new funding.
It's World Immunization Week, marked annually on the last week of April under the theme Immunization for All is Humanely Possible. Their campaign aims to ensure even more children, adolescents, adults and their communities are protected against vaccine-preventable diseases. Over the last 50 years, essential vaccines have saved at least 154 million lives. Meanwhile, it is also World Malaria Day today, which recognizes global efforts to control malaria. Co-author of the South African Vaccine and Immunization Center, Professor Hanela Meyer, explains how governments can read hesitance to taking vaccines.
Government needs to work together, also with private sector. And one of the most important things is to have unified messaging. We need to go out and across all sectors with the same voice. We need to, very important, reinforce science-based information. So we need to provide people with evidence, with the facts, and also focusing on the personal benefit of vaccines. And this will help counter all this misinformation. Then very important is community-based strategies. We need to make sure that the initiative is localized.
Lastly, more than 100 foreign delegates, including heads of state and royalty, are due to begin arriving in Rome ahead of the funeral of Pope Francis tomorrow. Tight security arrangements are in place in the Vatican, including troops with anti-drone devices and snipers on rooftops. There will also be a chance for the last of the huge crowds of mourners to file past the Pope's coffin. Now, recapping on your top stories, Senegal's top court has rejected a move by lawmakers to revise an amnesty law that would have paved the way for possible prosecutions over the deaths of dozens of protesters during anti-government demonstrations between 2021 and 2024. Now, for any news stories you would like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us at +27 11 714 4459. Channel Africa News, I'm Onele Nzinzi.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
5 minutes past 11 Central Africa time. It's a beautiful Friday here in South Africa, but hopefully it's beautiful wherever you are as well. And joining us in the Channel Africa family right here for On the Move. Of course, we're in the third hour of the show, but keep joining us. No matter if it doesn't matter if you're moving between office and home. Maybe it's a lunch break. Maybe you're working from home, or maybe you're just at home. There's so many ways to listen to us, no matter what you're doing in your day. Find us on our audio bouquets. Change the channel right now to DSTV channel 802 and OpenView HD channel 628. Find us on the SABC Plus app. Yes, go to your app store. No matter what phone or device you're using, go to your app store, search SABC Plus, and you'll see us there. We're in the SABC Plus app. There's loads of content there, but find Channel Africa under the radio section. And of course, our website, www.channelafrica.co.za. We do what we do here in the final hour of the show is we profile an artist. And today we're looking at an artist known as Khanti Mntwana, 26-year-old who goes by the stage name Mntwana. They're a pop and R&B singer and songwriter from Cape Town, South Africa. And we'll be chatting to him about his musical journey in this hour of the show, but also dropping a brand new single. Yes, a brand new single today titled African Queen. And of course, we're going to be checking out that brand new single. It's the Channel Africa exclusive once again right here on the Move.
Hey, we're looking forward to these conversations, and definitely well done, Pali, for winning the quiz.
Yay, thank you, Benji. So what do I win? Selena, our producer, must find a prize, because there can't be a win without a prize. Okay, Selena says she's going to sort out a prize, because
really?
I want to win something. Maybe we can, the monthly winner will win something.
Okay, I wonder who that's going to cost. Good luck, Selena.
It will cost somebody, but a winner must win.
Yeah, remember you can stay interacting with us on our live streams. They're there for you. We're letting you know because it's pretty much of a fresh thing that we're doing now. It's been lasting, I think, 2 weeks. We're second week in, if I'm not mistaken. So become part of the action on our social media. Hey, as soon as you get there, let us know what you are up to, where you listening to us from, and why you listen to Channel Africa. Don't just get there and just view. I know there's a lot of viewers there. People just come and just scout what's going on here, and then they get out. Maybe you guys want to see how we look like, but we want to get more of an interaction with you. So go to our Facebook page. It's titled Channel Africa. Hey, follow us there as well. Let's make the Channel Africa family bigger on that platform, and then you can become part of us. Remember, it is as easy as that. And yeah, man, you can also find that live stream on our Instagram handles at Channel Africa 1. Not forgetting rather that we're also on YouTube at Channel Africa 1 being the handle. It's a very easy handle. All you have to do is use the Channel Africa phrase and have the letter on the number 1 at the end there, so it's easy for you to find indeed. Hey, we're moving into this final hour of the show. It's our time for our music profile. I don't know this artist. This is where we're having someone we don't know, someone who's emerging. This is someone by the name of Mtwana. I'm looking forward to finding out who they are and hearing a little bit of their new music. Hey, let's get into that profile after this.
Ahoy, matey!
Captain here to help, right, boys?
Set sail with us on a digital voyage like no other. Channel Africa has a treasure trove of awesomeness. That is our website and social media pages.
Tell me, why are you here?
We want you to be part of our adventure.
The winds are changing, Captain. And this time...
Imagine a world where curiosity knows no bounds, where entertainment meets enlightenment, and where every click leads to the African perspective. Visit us on our website, www.channelafrica.co.za, or follow us on Instagram or on X at Channel Africa 1. Go on, like us on Facebook at Channel Africa 1. So, spread the word. Tell a friend that Channel Africa's online variety is what they need on the web. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Africa, it's time to plug into the heartbeat of the continent. Tune in to Channel Africa, your go-to radio station that broadcasts in 5 different languages.
L'Afrique du Sud célèbre la journée nationale du
Kabla hujaitwa kwa jina la Double K, or more of our forests have been destroyed.
Partido Africano da Independência da Guiné.
See, Channel Africa represents every corner of this amazing land. From Lagos to Cape Town, Nairobi to Dakar, we've got you covered with the freshest news, music, and cultures. So, turn up the volume, feel the rhythm. Enjoy the conversation. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Get set and be ready to go. On the move with Palesa and Benjamin Mushatama.
Você é fluente em português? É apaixonado por rádio e quer trabalhar na África do Sul? Você tem documentos que o qualificam para trabalhar na África do Sul? Nesse caso, podemos ter uma oportunidade para você trabalhar no Canal África. Envie seu currículo e demonstração para Canal África at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Lembre-se, se você não receber alguma resposta nossa em 14 dias, isso significa que você não foi selecionado. Canal África, a perspectiva africana.
Get set and be ready to go. On the move with Palesa and Benjamin Mushatama.
I put it all on the line for you. Invested my heart and my time for you. But you playing around, what am I to do? Cause you think I'm blind and I'm a fool. I heard what you did, I heard what you do. Honestly, I wish that it wasn't true. But I seen the pics and messages too. Please don't explain, baby, we do. See, I walked around town talking about you to run. Guess I was stupid, I can't believe you had me all sprung. I'm killing Cupid, don't you?
Musical Friday. You know, this is where we profile artists right here on The Move. This one is titled Narcissist by the artist we'll be chatting to today, who goes by the name of Mtwana. Born Kakanti Mtwana. He is from Cape Town, South Africa. This is a pop and R&B singer and songwriter raised right here in the Cape Town region of South Africa. His stage name stems from the memory of his late grandfather, who only had daughters, and we'll be chatting to Mtwana today to chat about his musical journey. But hey, guess what? There's also more, because more than just chatting to the artists that we have right here on Channel Africa, we give you previews of exclusive music. This emerging artist will be releasing a brand new single today titled African Queen, and as we go deeper into his story, his life and his journey, we will be taking a look at this brand new single titled African Queen. We have Mtwana on the line. Mtwana, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning and welcome to On The Move.
Yo, what's up? Thank you so much for having me, eh?
It is a pleasure. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this Friday. Well, Mtwana, it's quite a different name to have. Is it your surname? Because I mean, we have here it's Khanti Mtwana.
Yes, it's my surname. So the story about how my stage name came about and me using my stage name as my surname as my stage name is just it's kind of in tribute to my grandfather who gave me that surname. And my father is has a different surname, and my grandfather felt like I was the one who was going to carry on his surname because he only had daughters, and out of all of my cousins, I was the chosen one, and I just felt like that is like such a significant story. So I used my surname as my stage name.
100%. Well, it seems like you've always had a passion for performing arts. I don't know anyone who could say they've been acting since they were 6 months old. So tell us about that story. It sounds a little bit bizarre.
Yeah. So with me, my mom's always put me into acting things, and my first commercial was when I was 6 months old for I think it was a Pro Neutro ad, if I'm not mistaken.
I take it you were a very, very cute baby.
I think I'm still cute. Yeah.
Well, from there, you've obviously got captivated by, the arts, the performing arts in particular. Tell us a little bit of a rundown of your story through your journey of arts. I mean, from acting at 6 months old and then going into music. Unpack a little bit of that journey for us.
Yeah. So with music, it's always been like something that I'm passionate about. How I started making music was, at 11 years old, I was part of a production company, and we performed at the Artscape Theatre. It was called Beauty and the Beast, and we performed every night for I think a whole term. And just being in front of people singing, it's a musical, so just singing, just that just made me, that made me fall in love with just music in general. And then growing older, I started making my own music and started writing my own music, and now I'm here today. I'm recording my own music, I'm making my own music, and yeah.
That sounds like quite a natural progression from acting to musicals into music. It certainly does feel like, it is meant to be that way. But as you started then recording your own music, what have some of the challenges been in not just pursuing your passion, but also tackling the industry?
The challenges. So there's many as an artist, the biggest challenge that I face even today is, getting in front of new crowds. As an upcoming artist, it's a bit difficult, because you're selling something that many people are selling. And, just people allowing you to get in front of them and actually, listen to what you're doing, is difficult. I think that that's been my biggest challenge, and that's the challenge that I face today. And yeah, that's why I'm here, trying to put the word out about my music.
Well, in anyone's journey, especially if you are a creative, there are very significant milestones in your journey, especially when you're still trying and you're pushing your music or you're pushing your art. Has there been any such moment like that for you, a moment that is so significant in the growth of your journey in music or the growth of your career?
I think for me, the biggest moment that I've had was being a part of MTN Pulse Vitals. And that's a show that aired on Channel O and Mzansi Magic, where Slicker chose 8 artists in and around South Africa. And, I was one of those 8. Of about 500 submissions, and we spent I think about a month on TV, and the the journey of music, and you know, just talking about the journey of music and you know, making music and things like that.
I love that. Well, Mtwana, you have a brand new single that you're going to be, telling us about here on the show. It's called African Queen. So stay on the line. We're going to take a short break. And of course, we want to hear this brand new single. And you can tell us a little bit more about not just the single, but your career in music. We're chatting to a pop and R&B artist, singer, songwriter, Mtwana. We'll continue this conversation after the break.
Got something to say? Are you passionate about issues that matter? Do you have a voice that deserves to be heard? Well, we've got the perfect platform for you. Call in or drop us a WhatsApp on +27 63 406 9126 and we will call you back so you could have your say and be part of the conversation.
30 years of age. I just turned 30 on the 15th of November. So that's who I am, you know.
It's not just talk. It's your chance to air your views, share your opinion, engage with the community that values your perspective. Follow us on our social media. Visit our website at www.channelafrica.co.za and get ready to share your views on Channel Africa, the African perspective. Get set and be ready to go. On the Move with Palesa and Benjamin Mushatama.
Bad man, I dare ya.
I see you in the distance. Can I check you off my wish list? Like why we playing? You want me and I want you, so why don't we ditch this? We can hop in the Benz, talk in the car. I wanna treat you like the queen you are. I wanna heal all the pain in your heart. I wanna talk while we stare at the stars. You've been hurt before, you don't wanna regret it. You just so used to the fake and the lies. I just wanna vibe, I just want your mind. Just wanna know what you do or don't like. Just wanna be who you call when you cry. Usually I never show face, but you got me doing whatever you say.
Hey, that's some Mtwana with one titled African Queen, a new single that's dropping today. And we get that special opportunity to speak to the emerging artist right here on The Move. Hey, let's talk about this African Queen. She sounds very hot, Mtwana. Tell us a little bit about the inspiration about this one.
You know what, before I talk about African Queen, can I just say, you know, listening to my own music makes me so excited, you know? Just hearing it, it just makes me so excited, and I'm so grateful for you guys for playing it on the radio. You guys are the first radio station to pick it up.
Oh man, it's a pleasure, bro.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Yeah, so African Queen is just a love song. You know, it's about love. It's about I think it's self-explanatory. You know, it's just the storytelling. You know, I'm saying thank you for all the memories that we've made together. Thank you for being there for me, and I'm so grateful that you stayed through everything that we've gone through. And yeah, so that's what the song is generally about.
She sounds like a keeper, man.
She is definitely.
I mean, do you write your music from that personal experience?
Yes, definitely. Everything that I write is from my own personal experience and things that I've went through, and yeah.
Fantastic. And so this is the single that you're dropping today. Any other plans?
So for the rest of 2025, I plan on dropping singles on singles. I don't know if you know this, but I've recently moved to Johannesburg to, chase the dream. And I think that me being here, I need to reintroduce myself to, the new people that I'm meeting, and that's my journey this year. Just releasing singles on singles, just so that people can get understanding of my sound and and who I am through the music.
For sure, man. You've got a unique voice there. What are your dreams?
What are my dreams?
Yeah, for the future.
I think that just to be the biggest artist out, to move other artists the same way I was moved by music. I think that my favorite artist is Michael Jackson, and I want other people to feel the same way I felt when I listened to Michael Jackson. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So where can we find you on social media? Where should people go to know more about Mtwana?
So you can search on any social media, Mtwana SA, that's MTWANA SA. On any social media, you'll find me, and there'll always be a link in my bio, and that link takes you to various things. So it takes you to my music, it takes you to also a group chat where I update people. So, yeah.
Sounds awesome, man. Thank you for joining us here on Channel Africa, and all the best and congratulations on your release on African Queen.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Man, we appreciate you being right here. Keep going, Mtwana. That is Mtwana with one titled African Queen. Let's listen to that one proper.
No time to waste. Be on the move with Benjamin Mushatama and Palesa.
Bad man, I dare ya.
I see you in the distance. Can I check you off my wish list? Like while we playing, you want me and I want you, so why don't we ditch this? We can hop in the Benz, talk in the car. I wanna treat you like the queen you are. I wanna heal all the pain in your heart. I wanna talk while we stare at the stars. You've been hurt before, you don't wanna regret it. You just so used to the fake and the lies. I just wanna vibe, I just want your mind. Just wanna know what you do or don't like. Just wanna be who you call when you cry. Usually I never show face, but you got me doing whatever you say.
It's Mtwana. Just had a great conversation with him. Brand new single dropping today. This one is titled African Queen. Let us know what you think about that music. Join our live stream on our social media platforms at Channel Africa 1 on Instagram and YouTube, and simply Channel Africa on Facebook. As we wrap up the conversations of the day, let's hear your thoughts of the week. But you can also catch up on the conversations that we've had so far. Head on over to our website, www www.channelafrica.co.za. Click on the programs tab that's on our home page, and you'll be greeted by these amazing shows that we have here on Channel Africa. But this is the show that you're looking for. Click on the Move, and that's where you can find our podcast. So hey, your weekend is set. You know exactly what you do. If you're not listening to Channel Africa live on our platforms during the weekend, then you can always catch up on our podcast. Once again, that's www.channelafrica.co.za. The number to know is +27 63 406 9126. We want to hear your voice as well here, so send us a WhatsApp voice note, a text, or even give us a call. We're about to go back to our news desk. For now, let's get our latest in sports once again with Musibudi Makura.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Thank you, Palesa. And for the final time this morning on Channel Africa, we'll start our sports bulletin with this story. Pyramids FC as well as Orlando Pirates are poised for a make-or-break showdown tonight in Cairo, with the coveted spot in the Total Energies CAF Champions League final at stake. So after a tightly contested goalless draw in the first leg at the FNB Stadium in Johannesburg last weekend, the tie remains balanced heading into the second leg at the Cairo International Stadium. So both sides will now need to dig deep to break the deadlock and book their ticket to the final. The Egyptian outfit will look to continue the imperious home form. Pyramids have won all 4 of their CAF Champions League home fixtures this season, racking up 17 goals and conceding just 3. They also boast an incredible 22-match unbeaten run at home in all competitions, a record that could prove crucial in such a high-pressured encounter against South African side Orlando Pirates. Meanwhile, Al Ahly as well as Mamelodi Sundowns are set for a blockbuster clash tonight at the Cairo International Stadium as they battle for a place in the final of the Total Energies CAF Champions League, with the first leg in Pretoria ending goalless last weekend. Everything is still to play for in this highly anticipated second leg encounter. So despite Al Ahly's rich history as well as dominance in African club football, it is Sundowns who have held the upper hand in recent meetings between the two sides. The South African Giants are unbeaten in their last 8 matches against the Cairo club, scoring 11 goals and conceding just 5 in that run. Al Ahly, meanwhile, have not defeated Sundowns since May of 2021 and will be looking to overturn that trend on home soil tonight. The host side have been rock solid as well at the back in the season's Champions League, keeping 3 consecutive clean sheets. Their defensive resilience will be key once again tonight, especially against the Sundowns side that has failed to score in their last 216 minutes in continental football. Onto this now, former Mamelodi Sundowns as well as Orlando Pirates head Rulani Mokoena has left his Moroccan club Wydad Casablanca after a run of disappointing results for the former African champions. It ends a 9-month adventure in North Africa for the 38-year-old who was fired by Mamelodi Sundowns at the end of last season despite leading them to the Betway Premiership as well as taking them to the club, the Nedbank Cup final as well as the semi-finals of the Champions League. So Mokoena's departure from Wydad has not been announced yet by the club, but has been confirmed by Morocco sports newspaper Al Mutakab. Now Mokoena had a contract until 2027, but earlier in the month did announce that he will be leaving at the end of the current season. But his departure was hastened after a run of 6 successive draws in the Botala Pro League that left Wydad 6 points adrift of second-placed Royal Armed Forces in the race for the Champions League places next season. They were also bundled out of the Throne Cup final in the last round of 16. Mokoena's departure means he misses out on taking the Moroccan outfit to the FIFA Club World Cup in the USA in June of this year, where he would have come up against his idol Pep Guardiola of Manchester City. Back home now, World Under-20 100 metre as well as 200 metre champion Bayanda Walaza has expressed his disappointment over the absence of his idol Akani Simbini at the national championships. The 19-year-old who finished in second in the final last night at the Park MacArthur Stadium in Potchefstroom in the Northwest Province said it was heartbreaking not to compete against his South African record holder as well as multiple national champion. Simbini opted to skip the event to focus on Saturday's Diamond League meeting in China. He had been looking forward to going up against one of South Africa's biggest and fastest men.
We truly wanted to race against him,
Because even though we win, but it won't be the same as when he was here. You know, you can be the SA champion, you're SA champion, but he's not there. We're not sure if you're faster than him. You know, the goal is to beat the best, you know, in the sports. That's how the sport works. You need to beat the best to be the best. So for him to be not here, also knows that everyone like in here in South Africa wants to be the best. They know that they have to beat him. And he's not here. Me, I'm heartbroken.
Now, Palesa faced off with Akani Simbine in the KwaZulu-Natal just last year at just 18 years of age. He says the experience taught him a lot as he was eager to measure his progress against South Africa's best sprinter.
I think it was a emotional race for me as well, you know, because being a junior competing against the seniors and everyone wants you to be challenging the best in the world as a young one. That made me see that in this world, there's no age, especially in the sports, you know. Age is just a number because people knew very well last year that Akani is the best and I'm young. But people, they were like, you can do it, you know. They gave me that motivation of no matter what age you are, you can still be competitive, you know. And that's what built me, that's what made me strong because I still want that race, you know.
All right, so that concludes your sports news this morning on Channel Africa. More sporting updates coming up in the next hour. Meanwhile, for any sports stories you'd like to share with us, simply send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11714 4459. Have a great sporting weekend. For Channel Africa Sport, I am Musibu D. Makura.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Mix Vibration sur Channel Africa.
Nous allons accueillir sur ces plateaux de Mix Vibration un artiste pas comme les autres. Il est exceptionnel. Il se classe résolument dans la trajectoire des artistes qui défendent le patrimoine du folklore africain, mais aussi de la rumba. Ici, Jérémy Tchani.
En tout cas, je vous dis merci à la Channel Africa, à tout le monde qui nous suit. Dans la vie, si tu veux aller loin, il faut comprendre les temps. Il y a ceux-là qui étaient dans leur temps, mais à cause d'une mauvaise conduite, à cause des gens qui l'accompagnait, à cause de sa famille, à cause beaucoup de choses, son temps passé.
Voilà, donc il faut toujours gérer le temps. Chaque chose a son temps, dit-on. Et la couronne ne dure pas éternellement, dit-on. Donc il faut toujours gérer le temps que Dieu vous a donné sur la terre. C'est le message que Jérémy Tchani nous amène aujourd'hui sur Mix Vibration à Channel Africa.
Mix Vibration, tous les dimanches de 18h à 19h, temps universel.
Hashtag on the move and connect with us.
All right, so let's move to our business news right now. Eva Chipa is wrapping things for the morning.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Thanks, Benjamin. Tanzania has officially imposed a trade ban on food and agricultural products from Malawi, intensifying a diplomatic and economic standoff that began with trade restrictions on Tanzanian produce. A similar ban has also been imposed on any agricultural produce coming from South Africa into the Tanzanian market. Tanzania had demanded that both countries rescind bans on imports of agricultural goods by Wednesday. However, Tanzania's Agriculture Minister Hussein Bashe says the countries had not done so. George Mhango reports.
Malawi, a landlocked country, depends on Tanzanian and Mozambican ports for exports and imports. Tanzania has come up with a complete ban on both the export and import of agricultural commodities between Tanzania and the two countries. Tanzania's Minister of Agriculture Hussein Bashe disclosed this on Wednesday after expiry of a deadline issued by Tanzania last week in which Dodoma demanded that Malawi and South Africa lift their trade restrictions. He also criticized Malawi's handling of maize imports, noting the inconsistency in barring Tanzanian maize while simultaneously procuring the same grain through the World Food Programme WFP.
South African Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana says he will not resign after the government's U-turn on a planned value-added tax hike, despite opposition calls for him to quit. Speaking to Reuters on the sidelines of the International Monetary Fund and World Bank spring meetings in Washington, Godongwana said his job is to introduce money bills, not that they must be popular. The finance minister was forced to scrap the rise in VAT that threatened the stability of the ruling coalition government yesterday. The about turn blows a $4 billion hole in the medium-term budget and leaves Godongwana with the task of drawing up what he said was a different fiscal framework in line with the new realities of revenue and spending. South Africa's power utility Eskom has attributed its decision to suspend rolling blackouts to the recovery of more than 2,000 megawatts of generation capacity and sufficient emergency reserves. It also says there is an expected decline in electricity demand. Eskom implemented Stage 2 rolling blackouts yesterday due to high demand and loss of generating units. The power utility spokesperson, Daphne Mogwen.
Load shedding was suspended at midnight. Planned maintenance continues to ensure system readiness for increased winter demand, to meet regulatory requirements, and to ensure environmental compliance. Our team remains committed to restoring approximately 6,000 megawatts to service by next Tuesday.
Ethiopia's inflation is expected to decline to 10% in the coming financial year, which was announced by the country's central bank chief Mamu Moretu yesterday, and says that the lowest level in a decade, thanks to government's reform program. The East African nation struck a 4-year, $3.4 billion program deal with the International Monetary Fund last July and is undertaking far-reaching reforms, which include the flotation of its currency and getting its debt restructuring back on track. Inflation has been a major headache for Ethiopia, running at about 30% for 3 consecutive years, though in March it had already declined to 13%. And lastly, prosecutors in South Korea say they're reopening an investigation into accusations of stock market manipulation against the former First Lady Kim Kyung-hee. Her husband, Yoon Suk-yeol, was removed as president earlier this month after being impeached. Last year, he apologized for a series of controversies, including involving his wife, brother, although she's never been convicted of any wrongdoing. Taking a look at your financial indicators, $1 in Nigeria is trading at 1,000 naira 610. In Botswana, it's 13 pula 58. Kenya, the dollar is trading at 128 shilling 59. And in Zambia, it's 28 kwacha 26. To the BRICS countries, $1 in Brazil is trading at 5 real 69. In Russia, 83 rubles 09. India, 85 rupees 36. China, 7 yuan 29. And in South Africa, it's 18 rand 79 cents. $1 is trading at 75 pence to the British pound and 87 to the euro. Looking at commodities, gold stands at $3,297, platinum at $956 per ounce, while Brent crude oil is at $66.59 a barrel. For any business stories you'd like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2 711 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business News, good morning. I'm Eva Chipa.
Business News on Channel Africa. The African Perspective. If you are an upcoming artist looking to showcase your music to a wider audience, or just looking to promote your music on the radio, we can help. But there are a few things you can do to increase your chances of success. 1. Send your music to music@channelafrica.co.za. 2. We require the following information to help you best: your label, your ISRC code, title of the song, performer, composer, publisher, author, language, genre. These are the things we would like to compose your musical bio. 3. Listen to Channel Africa play your music on the radio. The perfect soundtrack for your day. With Channel Africa and your music, you will never be bored because we play your music. Experience the best African music on Channel Africa, the African Perspective. Are you fluent in French, Chinyanja, Portuguese, and Kiswahili? Are you passionate about radio? And are you looking to work in South Africa? Do you have papers that qualify you to work in South Africa? In that case, we might have an opportunity for you to work for Channel Africa. Send us your CV and demo at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Remember, if you don't hear from us within 14 days, it means you have not made it or you have not been selected.
Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Benjamin Mushatama and Palesa on the move.
I could brag on it. I've been through the fire, I could talk on it. And I heard it on the street that they got love for me.
Oh, show Baba. Now Baba go they make me come my swag on. Them they bad to me anytime when the song's on. Them they see the light they shining, them they wrong come.
Now you see, say we there on the city. I don't think that any one of you can step to titty. I just wanna sing the song. Break it down, oh yeah, shake it to the gong,
yeah. Baba God don't bless us. Now why we they talk this matter, eh? Some people want to pull me down, I still they walk, eh?
No be say them say, no they do like say you know no. No be say them say, my brother.
Oh yeah, Joe for me, I do bear for no. And but it's okay, I do bear for no. Oh yeah, go mole, I do bear for no. Jacka Jones okay.
My brother, if I start to talk, the thing where I don't take my eyes, see we no going. My brother, we no going. If I start to count, the thing where my back on it don't do, we no going. My sister, we no going. If I start to talk, the thing where my back on it don't do, we no going.
My sister,
we no going. If I start to count all the blessings my back on they keep me, we no going. My brother, I no going. Oh yeah, throw your hands up in the air for me. If you feel it, sing along, sing the song for me. You can pop anything, lift the bill for me. When the sun comes on, know your job for me.
No follow them, they complain. Make you no forget, say Baba God day. Every day is a good day. Holiday from Monday to Sunday.
Oh yeah, kumole, oh yeah, it's okay. Oh yeah, pate, what show them problem no day. See my life today, blessings every day. And they shine so bright.
They make them, they wonder why we they so composed. Anything we do, we they in control. Anywhere we go, then they won't follow. And anything we touch with.
It's Tiwa Savage featuring Dr. Sid on this one. If I Start to Talk is the name of that jam right here on Channel Africa, giving you that African perspective. This is On the Move with myself, Palesa and Benjamin Mushatama, slowly wrapping things up. There's about 12 minutes left to the show before we move on out of here and make way for the Africa update with Lulu Gabu earlier. A conversation that stood out for me this morning is our second hour conversation. An amazing collaboration between between a South African art studio and a Tanzanian art studio. That's the arts company Soweto and Coco 10 Studios, taking 20 emerging and established visual artists from South Africa and Tanzania, and they'll be exchanging works and fostering cross-border dialogue and market access from May. And May is Africa Month, and now that we're wrapping up the month of April, perhaps we should start thinking about Africa Month and what or how we'll be celebrating Africa Month. And I think a great way to do that is collaboration. Is there an avenue for you with whatever you do or the passions that you have to collaborate with people across the African continent? If there is, perhaps you should pursue it, and maybe that's a great way that we can celebrate Africa Month together. That's definitely a highlight conversation for me today. Let me know what your highlight conversation is. You can do that on our live stream. We've been streaming live throughout the week, and we live stream on our various social media platforms. On Facebook, we are Channel Africa. Find our live stream there. We are live there. And on Instagram, we're also live there at Channel Africa 1 is the name of that handle, as well as on YouTube. We love chatting to you there. We love to know where you're listening to us from, and of course your thoughts on the conversations for the day. But it's Friday after all, and before we wrap up, let's get a little bit more music. Once again, this is Bella Schmurd featuring Zlatan Nicole, and this one is titled Cash App.
Benjamin Mushatama and Palesa on the move.
Eyes on my neck, eyes on my wrist. Many days I never sleep. Every day I'm chasing good life. Ayakaya, roller coaster, never tire. Sender, you wish me bad. Sender. I never come down going higher. Johnny Sisi, load up, cash up, cash out. Onimaga, Bilam, small money, ball out. Usain Bolt, run up. You get the show clients, lock 'em. If you no get money, leave 'em. EFC symbol, Japa, Johnny Sisi, load up, cash up, cash out. Onimaga, Bilam, small money, ball out. Usain Bolt, run up. You get the show clients, lock 'em. If you no get money, leave 'em. EFC symbol, Japa. Yeah, la uka uwe. Kuma lo te shomola. La uka uwe. Kuma lo te shomola. Toba ka uwe. Shomola. Blacka for me to them and chase.
Well, everybody anyway, now we actually make it on me. One more dog was see, one other was see, cold tag with story. Oh my god, you also she look back with money to the telenegi. When you talk, you look over, kick grow go. Oh, fashion share up, pull over come.
Every day I'm chasing good life.
If I don't show my body,
Ayakaya, roller coaster, never tire.
I'm a Johnny Sisi. I don't know them. If you check up, you go know say na confirma. Oh yeah, chichi, shoba toyin pẹ̀lú kiki.
You don't confirm.
Respesa, abo mo oji wa iji. Àlàyé sọ ní pros, ariwo ti fẹ́ moriwo. Ó yá pokoli, àwọn ilé wọn máa ń gbé bọ́dì.
Eyes on my neck, eyes on my wrist. Many days I never sleep. Eyes on my neck, eyes on my wrist. For money I never sleep, mommy I take the risk. Blacka for me, to back go me jack by them cash. I want to meet them carnival. Oh my calo you every carnival. Mado, baddest. I want to me baddest. This place on Mr. Loda. To buy SCC Japa. Johnny Sisi, Loda, cash up.
how we wrap things up today. It's been a good one. Thank you for joining us right here on Channel Africa. But that is Cash Up by Vlatan Lincoln. And hey, any plans for the weekend, Pali?
I want to rest. I'm just going to be home. Like the birthday month has been doing everything it needs to.
Yeah.
But I think this weekend, I really need some rest. So I'll be home
taking
resting.
Taking it easy. Okay, that's a lovely one. What are you getting up to this weekend? Let us know on +27 63406 9126. In fact, save that on your phone. We want to get to know you, and you can stay in touch with us in our live studio here on Channel Africa. We've had some interesting conversations today and this week. If you missed out on anything, remember you can still catch up on our website. All you need to do is go to www.channelafrica.co.za, and that's where our podcasts are. That's when we, in audio form of course, we make sure that we curate some of the big conversations of the week there. Remember that website is www.channelafrica.co.za. You can find us there. But hey man, we have to say goodbye. It has been a good one. Until next time, God bless.
Have a great day, Africa, and a beautiful weekend.
Tough times don't last, but tough people do. You go stand tall. Eyes red like we jogo. Puff pass for the pain, edge I love. Never really wanna know your interest. Money there for my mind, I'm in business. Many times I try to play my intellect. And you know my shop, I'm gonna build the rest. Yeah, when you ready, make you take the shot. And you know what's gonna happen, make we ginger next. Sound. I feel tonight. I know, man, I want it tonight. On my own feel alright. Yeah, come my people make we day tonight. Make we follow, make we all line. On my own feel alright. I know mine how it be tonight. No apologies tonight. On my own feel alright. I love my D's tonight. Sometimes that's what it be sometimes.
Billy, push on Oluwa Inshallah. I told me about emotion Nicola. I ain't baguette with Louis VVS. Come on, da fun better select the TBS. She tell me say she go live if the love no lead to money. Relationship with money no day, it go later boring. It go later sour, it go later scatter. She go serve it brain fast on a bigger platter. I say that's why I pray every night and day that I get paid so I can slay. Life show me pepper, many things I can't say. Chance the movie when they take advantage. Had no.
Tune in and
sur Channel Africa.
Nous allons accueillir sur ces plateaux de Mix Vibration un artiste pas comme les autres. Il est exceptionnel. Il se classe résolument dans la trajectoire des artistes qui défendent le patrimoine du folklore africain, mais aussi de la rumba.